by the Indeed herself, Gillyweed.
Hi.
Yo, let's talk about Plup, man. What a fucking what a legend, right?
Correct it.
I haven't watched the VODs yet, man. Too busy.
I was just getting angry watching Evo on Sunday. I was like sitting here watching Round of 8 and Evo was just angering me the entire time. Like Leffen and Mango were playing terribly.
Oh.
Which, I mean, props to the people who got as far. Plup was doing really well.
Plup dumpstered him with Samus. I'm okay with that. I didn't watch any of Plup's other games though, because if he doesn't play Samus, I don't care. What a tier whore! I don't feel like dealing with that. That is awful.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know if you are a Samus player and you make your name as a Samus player. I don't want to see you switch to Sheik. That's the worst. That is actually the worst.
That's the polar opposite. Because Sheik, she's free. She's easy peasy to play.
She's too easy to play.
Too easy.
She hasn't won a national in a bit.
Yeah, but she's not esports enough, clearly.
She hasn't won a national.
Now, I normally make buffalo chicken.
That's a good segue.
Today I made chicken, but I forgot about the buffalo. So I've got the chicken. You can see it looks very yellow here. And then I just have a bowl of the buffalo. So I'm just dipping the buffalo, or dipping the chicken into the buffalo. It's like the laziest, most esports dinner I've ever had in my life, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Okay,
Also, Hungry Box for life.
when did can you classify in your mind what is esports to you? Because you use that to describe every possible action you make.
Everything is esports, so yeah.
Of esports, even oh, I took a breath of air today. It was so esports.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's something that I'm enjoying at that moment, it's got to be esports.
Okay.
So if
okay.
Esports is when I say esports, it's okay in my book. This is good with me.
It's not like the peak, but it's not the worst. It's just it's good, or is it?
So if it's getting lower, that's when it's B sports, sometimes even C sports. But C sports can also be nautical things. So
yeah, by the way, Ian does not partake in fishing.
He does.
I'm not on this boat.
Tell me.
I'm not on this boat.
So you're not about the C sports life, but
I'm not.
some people are. Okay.
Some people.
That was funny. Sea sports, boat.
Derek, can you tell the story? Tell the story.
Is this stream appropriate? I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's stream appropriate.
It was, I think, Sunday morning.
It was the night before Christmas.
That's another story to tell. But Kubi was brushing his teeth, and I had to throw my toothpaste out at the airport, so I kept having to go to other people's room and brush my teeth in the
Okay, so
morning.
I was wondering why you were there when he was brushing his teeth.
That's
I'm glad.
Yeah, they're just weird like that.
Sorry, I knew I was really.
Just happened to come by in the morning.
I was actually telling this story to someone else and was questioning. I was like, wait, why was he in there in the first place? Anyway, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I needed toothpaste, and then Kubi was brushing his teeth, and apparently he has an issue with brushing his teeth in the morning, to where if he goes too far back, he starts just triggers a super gag reflex.
Oh, I have the same thing, Kubi.
You guys are weird together.
Yep. Great.
But he sits down on the bed trying to calm himself down. He's just breathing deeply. He's trying to calm down, and then I just start going "Are you okay?" And he starts laughing to the point that he still has the gag reflex and is laughing that I actually make him throw up, and it goes on for it's to the point where it was funny at first, and then he kept having the gag reflex for another 2 minutes. It was I got worried at one point. Kubi was just in the bathroom vomiting for 2 to 3 minutes.
Wait, you were actually vomiting?
Yeah, he actually threw up.
He made me laugh hard enough that I was just for probably 2 or 3 minutes intermittently. I was just all right, let's go.
I thought he was joking, so I kept doing it, and then halfway through it was a gargled stop.
That's amazing. I don't think I've ever.
I'm gonna go finish my meal. I'll be back.
I don't think I've ever triggered brushing my teeth to the point that I've thrown up, but I've come really close. And brushing my tongue is the most difficult thing in the world. It's so
It is.
It's only.
I can't do it.
I have to get up really early in the morning to the part where I'm like, oh god, or something like that, and then brushing my teeth. Yeah, it's not a good mix. Like, not a good mix. No bueno.
I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, why was Zoya there?
I know. So I never even considered that either until I was thinking of this story later on.
Their relationship just seems natural enough that like everybody just
no one questioned.
Good stuff. So, I don't think I really had anything happen to me over the past couple of days.
I did catch up on the Evo. I wasn't actually that excited about top 8 Street Fighter, I'll be honest.
I didn't really watch that much Street Fighter. Street Fighter has gotten really boring for me. Ever since Ultra. I don't know why. I can't watch it.
Depends on what characters are in the top 8 for me. And there was a Sagat that almost got in the top 8. I would have been really hype about that, but he didn't. He got bodied. So.
Bob Sagat.
Bob Sagat.
Just a warning for all the viewers, I'm pretty sick right now. I'm going to try and mute when I cough.
You might catch it.
Wait, did you catch some sort of con bug? That was like not a con?
Airplane or something, like, I don't know.
That sucks.
I've been sick since I got back. It's not fun.
Sorry, friend. Has anyone made you puke?
No. I made myself because we did a little birthday stuff and ended poorly.
Yeah, that's what happened to me Friday. It was just great because, like, so Friday we had a happy hour, but they extended it from 2 hours to 6 hours. And we went to this, like, Mexican restaurant for it. And I can't eat, like, 90% of Mexican food because it's got, like, peppers, onions, etc. That just immediately triggers my stomach, like, to just die.
Unhappiness.
So I'm sitting there drinking I had, like, 2 massive margaritas, then, like, 4 freaking mojitos. So drunk. I got home barely. Horrible things ensued. I woke up Saturday morning. I'm like, this is the best day to possibly so hungover because it's esports. It's just all esports.
Esports?
All day.
Jake, do you agree? Is that esports?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Esports.
Yeah, esports.
All right. Esports, man. That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, that actually.
There's a comment.
Yes. Moon Prayer's right. Zuna comes down, like I woke up in the middle of the night when it happened, and then Zuna comes down, and he's like, after I'm done, and he's like, yeah, so my stream could hear that. I was like, oh shit. So that's fun. I can't even be sick in my own house without, someone's stream picking it up.
Stop that. Hearthstone, did you guys talk about that?
Nope. New Tavern Brawl's fun.
New expansion.
What a like, goblins versus gnomes, that's like hilariously funny. Who cares about the frickin' Crusade tournament?
There's a mechanic, bro. There's a new mechanic in the game. That's hype.
I'm talking about the theme of it right now. The theme is so...
Oh, well, whatever. Yeah. Who cares about the theme? I care about the cards.
Yeah, there's 130 plus new cards.
I don't even know if Corey knows this.
He's gone.
He's busy.
He left because he wants to play it so much.
No, he's like...
Oh yeah, so I told you guys in the town hall chat, but I guess I'll show it again for preview. So I accidentally got the most unlucky 2-card drop after a Goblin Shredder died. Got a Mistress of Pain while I had an Akanai Soul Priest out. The Mistress of Pain then decided to attack something, and anytime Mistress of Pain takes damage, it heals your hero. But because you have an Akanai Soul Priest, that becomes damage. That -1 damage counted as more Mistress of Pain damage to be dealt, which just hit it into an infinite loop that just went -1, -1, -1. And I was destroying this guy. There was no chance he was going to win. And I'm just sitting there for like the 40 seconds that it takes to kill me, yelling, "That counts? That counts!" to myself at like 11:30 at night. It was the worst. It's the worst experience I've ever had.
You got looped.
Oh, the StarCraft pre-order, you get the 3 playable missions.
Oh yeah? Did that come out?
Yeah, I played all 3 on Brutal. It was fun. It leads into the story takes place between after Heart of the Storm and before Legacy. It's kind of cool.
Oh, so they're not the actual missions of the Legacy story?
No, it's just like a prologue type thing
for Legacy. Cool.
It was really cool. Just 3 missions you play as Zeratul. It was fun.
Sounds fun.
Whoa, the cat.
Cat cam.
The cat was investigating.
So
So.
that's
Corey,
not coming
Corey.
out for like how many
StarCraft?
years?
Who knows? Did you hear about the Hearthstone stuff, Kubi? Did you hear about the expansion?
Hearthstone expansion?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kubi, are you
So you know,
inspired to play
130
more
new cards
Hearthstone?
today. New mechanic called
Kevin.
Inspire.
No.
Whoa!
So Inspire is a new mechanic that's inactivatable on cards. It's going to be unique for each card, but when you use hero power, the card will become inspired. So there's like some ridiculous hunter card. I forget the way it works. It looks
Anytime you cast a spell, you get a random
hunter card. Like what?
They're like the Inspire mechanic. There's one card that like you can like when it's on the field, you can use your hero power as many times you want this turn. There are cards that make your hero power cost one less. Like if you like somehow pull out like a wombo with like priests and like you get it to where your heal is free, like
The
hello.
one they showcased was just like, what was you use your hero power and you get a random spell too. It was almost like
Yeah,
Nefarian
that was one
versus
too.
what's his name, Ragnaros.
Interesting. So they said 140 new cards out. Is that what you
Yeah,
guys
it's
said?
all to come. Yeah, it's all supposed to come out in August.
Does that match what GVG put in?
more.
More. That's a
Oh,
lot. That was a lot
GVG
of
was 110, wasn't it?
Yeah, GVG was a lot of cards, so that's pretty cool.
Not only does Theodore have a Twitter now, he's got a Twitch account too.
Yeah, see, he's talking to you. Are you gonna
Yeah.
you respond?
No,
Why?
because I hate it.
Who is this? Oh, actually, GVG was 123. My bad.
Still, it's more.
It's more.
Yay! I'm excited. It's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, it got ridiculous numbers on Twitch today too. Like 220,000 people were watching it.
Considering the stream kept going down, that's pretty hype.
Yeah, that stream crashed a lot. Oh, I've been playing, what the hell is it called? On Steam.
The racing game.
Yes. It's
It's
called
not racing.
Rocket League.
Jared,
We've been playing that a lot lately.
Rocket League.
they're like soccer race car.
Yeah, soccer race car game.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's pretty fun.
I hate soccer and I don't really like car games, so
I don't got time for
I
any of
don't
that.
feel like yeah, that too.
I don't like car games or soccer, but when they're combined, it's like
I bought my Rubik's Cube back home. I bought a new one. I didn't like it, so I moved that one to work, and now I got my old work one back home again.
Hello? Really?
What? Yeah.
Okay, so I
You ever
know
seen me
it's
solve
like,
Rubik's Cubes?
no one cares about your Rubik's Cube.
You just pull the stickers off it and you put them back on. Done.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
What is this, 5th grade? What?
I did
Jake,
that once
hello?
in like 4th grade. I'm proud of myself.
Someone pulls out a Rubik's Cube and they pull out the sticker line. I'm so upset.
So I know, like it kind of says we can't talk about heroes, but this isn't really heroes because it was so bad. Did you see someone draft like it was a G2 draft Stitches today?
Yeah.
I know,
WCA?
that's not qualified
Yeah.
as heroes, by the way. If you do
No,
that,
it wasn't
that's just
G2.
like dumb.
It was Navi.
No, Navi, yeah, Navi drafted Stitches like
Yeah.
Unhaunted Minds.
Yeah. Well, I think Navi had just given up. That was game 3, and they were getting destroyed in game 2. I think they just kind of gave up and decided they wanted to go into
No,
losing.
Navi won game 2.
Navi won game 2? Maybe I...
Fnatic dumpstered game 1. Navi came back game 2.
I really don't understand. And they had no assassins either, which is... anyway.
That doesn't qualify as heroes. What was played in that game was not heroes.
Well,
No assassins, that's for sure.
that's game, boys. What else happened? So we talked to Evo. We know all this new Heart stuff. Let's actually show the Heart stuff. Can I do this?
Jared
Yeah.
didn't get any hometown buffet.
Does it work?
No,
Oh, man.
no
Oh.
hometown buffet.
I got
Huh?
wrecked out of hometown.
Yeah.
But Del Taco like 7 times.
Really
worse.
likes Del Taco. Bought churros for everybody. What a guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Could we
those
just see
churros
this
were
shit?
good.
And nachos for me.
Ooh. What am I looking at? Huh? Oh, I see. You sent
Why are you
it.
showing Leoric?
Not.
Where did you send it?
Look at Skype.
I can't.
It's not activated?
No, it's not.
Goober status.
What is... Okay.
Oh, this is the Hearthstone thing. Why are we looking at this?
Yeah, Jake. Why are we
We
looking?
hadn't
Jake?
seen it, man.
You can't hear it though. Half the fun is
Yeah.
hearing the guys sing it.
All right, that's fair. Now I gotta fix all the webcams because I'm a goober.
Like, you in a mirror?
I loved
God.
those commercials.
They're so
all
good.
weekend.
Just
They would always play them like right before we came back from break too. So the first time we heard them, we were like trying to stifle our laughter.
we were actually like legit in there laughing.
Dude, they were freaking funny. The Annoyatron one, where
Yeah,
it's just like,
the
this
Annoyatron
guy doesn't really have a
one.
weapon. He just gotta run around and is annoying. Oh, I just immediately thought of Zoya.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. The squirrel one was my favorite.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
it's a
thought-
squirrel, so nope.
So no.
Yep.
It got to the point that the Warcraft one, the Gul'dan talking to Garrosh, like it got to a point where I had that memorized and like I just like memorized.
He knew
and
all
I just
the
like
memes.
I said the whole thing and like just some production guy was standing there watching me the whole time, and I didn't notice and it was weird. It's like,
Thanks for the. Six.
Gul'dan is so cool, man. What do you want me to do?
Cool
That's
story,
a
bro.
I was gonna say that's definitely a cool story. I haven't had to say that in a long time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jared.
Hey,
Thanks, Jared.
can you come up with a Gul'dan song? Can that be a
What is that
thing?
face?
That's I hate all of you right now face. I'm stifling my anger.
I'm excited for the rap battle between Kev and Jared later.
Is that
Please.
happening?
Can we
Kev,
stop?
Kev is
Can we
weak.
stop this?
Kev is weak. My next sub goal is me rap battling Dreadnought.
He actually listens to like rap, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I don't. So me versus you is a fair battle.
Was it?
I mean, you gave up so easy.
I know.
You didn't even try.
I know.
Dude, a Jake
Jared?
versus Zoe rap battle would be so easy.
Jared, you would look so good in a mustache like this.
What?
Why?
Just tilts his head. He's confused.
I think you would look real nice.
Hello?
Wow, these guys are so cute. New keyword: inspire. Which one did you got? Shit, I'm the minority. I voted for the Tuskar dude that has like pie and chicken. Why are people voting for this creepy thing? This guy has pie and chicken. Why are you not?
What?
Why are you not voting for it?
What thing?
Look at my screen. Look at Skype.
Yeah, I see the screen, but like, oh, where's the pie? Oh, that guy.
He's got pie.
Oh, but the dragon looks way cooler. Whatever
No,
that-
the Tuskar, man. We're going
What's
in.
going on?
Look at this Tuskar. He's got all these pies, some
But-
bread.
But the dragon thing.
I don't even know what that is. It's a.
What
It's a
is
worm.
it a dragon?
It's not a
Yeah,
dragon.
it's
It's
good.
it's a one of the earth. They burrow.
Earthworm Jim?
Yeah, must be it.
Ammo!
Must be it.
That's a
That's all I
dragon.
remember from Earthworm Jim is ammo and the little old woman who yells fresh and hits you with their purse. That's all I remember.
Great
I
show.
don't. I'm glad I don't remember this game now.
How? What? Oh, it was a game.
I know you like jump around, you shoot, and that's about it.
I gotta hear the theme song for this. Earthworm
Jump and
Jim.
shoot, man. Well, look at that. I'm shooting little lemons. Eco Raptor? Nobody? Okay. Bye.
Sorry, I was zoning out. I'm listening
Yeah.
to the Earthworm Jim. Oh wow, yeah, I remember this.
I'm proud of you.
So proud of you.
Yeah. It was a fun game,
Yep.
right?
Wow, this
Great.
is not aged well. This is not aged well.
Hey, did you guys see this? DeFebwar sent me this amazing. I don't know how. I'll put it in Skype chat. It's a poll that says who's the hottest Hots grill, and it has Nova, Sylvanas, Johanna, Jaina, Lily, Kerrigan, Brightwing, and Taronda. But the person winning it is Indeed.
Damn.
Dang.
Taronda, what the? You guys suck. Taronda has one
Dude,
vote.
it's like, ah!
She's tied with Brightwing.
Oh.
Yo, dude. Lily is beating Taronda. How do you feel about that?
I Why isn't Zagara on this list?
What? What is this nonsense?
Yeah, right? Brightwing is on there, but Zagara's not?
Yeah.
Like,
Zagara's at least got a skin that makes her somewhat look like a grill.
Nova, they deserve their spots. But, like, have you seen
Lily.
Tarandi's sidestep?
Man, I feel like...
For more furries in the Heroes community? I'm done.
Listen. It makes sense that Sonya's not on the list, because she would just win.
Oh, I tried to link it for the chat, and I got deleted. Sorry.
Deleted.
Oops.
Oh, let me,
Wait, is Vala on there? I feel like you're missing, like, a ton of them.
Yeah, Sonya should be
on
the list. She's gorgeous.
I actually...
Vala's not on there. Kerrigan's not on there.
Kerrigan's on there. Kerrigan is at 3 votes, so she's tied with Johanna, Jaina, and Lily.
Abathur's not on there. Eric isn't on there. Come on, isn't all like the hottest girls.
Eric is.
Oh yeah, Sergeant Hammer.
Bama.
How is Steel Dawn gonna vote? How is Steel Dawn gonna vote here? How is Corey gonna vote? None of his girls. No Johanna. No Sonya.
Johanna's
no
on there.
Hammer.
Johanna's on there.
I didn't see her, therefore she wasn't on there.
Okay, sure.
That's eSports.
That's eSports, boys.
So eSports.
Can we go live?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Just do that.
I'm gonna mute all you nalds.
What?
Cut away. Just go.
Cut it. Break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Town Hall Heroes, episode number 73. I'm your host, Solid Jake, and we're talking all about esports. We've got NA Open, we've got Leoric, and we've got a special guest, Gilly Weed. And Corey, you're saying uh-oh.
Yeah, because you moved the mic back onto your desk, and every single time you pound it, it's like... No, I don't think the stream can hear
They
it.
can't hear that. Okay, noted. I will solve that. But without further delay, Gillyweed, welcome to the show. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks for having me, guys. I am Gilly Weed, and I do a bunch of different things in Heroes. I'm a show co-host, started with Eye on the Storm, which we still have. It's every Thursday evening, and it talks about like the meta, brings on guests, that type of thing. I also am a streamer, and I've been casting for the last few months, and I got to cast a round of 8 this weekend as well, so really excited to be here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, so just going down the line with the introductions. Kevo.
Hi.
What's up?
Oh, I have to say things.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
Not that much. Just was watching all the eSports this weekend. Was watching some Evo. Was watching, of course, the round of 8. I got to cast on Sunday, which was the Gosu Gamers Enter the Storm, casted with Caldor. And going to be casting some more things, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, nothing too crazy going on, man. Just hanging out. Playing some Heroes of the Storm.
Stromboli. Kubi.
Here's the Stromboli.
Hi. I was also at the July Open probably since last Town Hall. I went to work and then flew and then probably had about a day in between, so I haven't casted. So that's pretty much what I've been doing over the past week. But we'll talk about it in a little more depth.
You should play more video games. No passion.
Yeah, I did get some Leoric games in, which I was pretty happy to have done that. I know Jared's real happy about that too.
All right, Jared.
Hello.
What are you holding?
This is Theodore.
Explain.
We went to the Goodwill to buy furniture, and Arthon saw this donkey. It was $6, so he bought it. It now has its own Twitter, which is at
Nope.
Theo the Donkey.
Theo the Donkey. No, it's at Tempo
now
Theodore.
it's Tempo Theodore.
Now it's at Tempo Theodore, so he is the official analyst of Tempo Storm Heroes, and he's awesome.
Great.
But yeah, went to Road to BlizzCon, was the obs for that.
What are the
Got
odds?
sick. One of the obs got sick, so I'm sick now. We won Road to BlizzCon, which July, which was awesome. And I'm casting EU Road to BlizzCon this weekend with Mr. Shim Bama Ling Long.
That's what I was going to talk about later, but that works too.
And yeah, we got
So
I don't know what
Zoya,
else to say, man.
Zoya, I just noticed a coincidence here. Didn't you just have your first scorpion show up in the house as well?
Stop. Why are we talking about that?
What if it came from the inside? What if the donkey was given to Goodwill because it spawned scorpions?
Well, yeah. What if there's scorpion
Trojan
babies
horse?
in the donkey?
Theodore would never do that. So
How do you know?
he's a good donkey.
The Arizonian donkey.
He's a good donkey, Kevin.
All right. Well, moving on. Cali was a wondrous event as always. A lot of good games this past weekend. We'll talk about them in a bit. Had some fun experience where literally my stream viewer games we were doing all got locked out right before Leoric launch yesterday. It was the most frustrating thing on the planet. Just the 5 of us. Shane was playing with us. It was like Shane Gucher. And we had 3 other nerds. I'm gonna get them wrong, so I'm just gonna avoid saying them. And we got locked out of playing Heroes for pretty much the night for Leoric. And I had to play in Europe, which wasn't the worst, but it's just kind of unfortunate. But beyond that,
What are you trying to say about Europe?
well, my account's just not max level. That's the issue. It's talented. It's annoying.
Look at this, guys. He's max level.
It's just annoying, man. It wasn't a lot of fun, but it is now sorted, good, and happy. And speaking of happy, well, Temple Storm's got to be pretty happy as they won the July NA Open, and we can just start with that. Now, this is back-to-back victories for Temple Storm, pretty much just even further affirming that they are the best team in NA. And from NA Open, though, let's talk about the results. Obviously, this is top 8 we're only going to be talking about. Any upsets that you guys were surprised about?
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's really an upset. It's just the back-to-back cognitive versus complexity matches. Cognitive started day 1 doing really dumb stuff, just like just trying to completely cheese out their opponents, and they got bodied. But the next day, they went in with standard drafts, like they were just doing non-dumb stuff, and they beat complexity.
Pretty convincing.
Which I think is cool because they're at a point where they don't have to cheese anymore. They can rely on their mechanics and their rotations and their skill to beat out an opponent like Complexity. Which I hope they learned that from this weekend because it was night and day in comparison from day 1 to day 2 watching their games.
Nah, because they went back to double melee assassin after.
And then they did this, and then they went back to their weird roots versus Maelstrom and got bodied. But the next game 2 versus Maelstrom, they didn't draft weird, and it was a reasonably close game.
Yeah, that's I think everybody was pretty much echoing the same thing all over Twitter as well. It's just they were playing. As soon as I saw their first games on Saturday, I was like, they are not getting anywhere. They're gonna get knocked out like immediately as soon as they get to losers. And then I guess they finally turned it around. But yeah, I completely agree. That was the most unexpected thing I think of the entire weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they won the one versus Complexity that really mattered.
Yeah,
this is true.
The one that got them spot. But it was really cool. I thought that they were kind of the highlight of the story of the tournament. Like, we all knew that Tempo Storm... Well, yeah, we all knew Tempo Storm and Maelstrom, right?
Right.
But I think that it was cool to see Cognitive get knocked down immediately and from there fight back through and then win the rematch.
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat to see with some... And they, I mean, really had a lot of the interesting drafts as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so just to build on that a little bit more, if we look back at June, top 3 from June was, in fact, Tempo Storm, then Maelstrom, and Complexity in 3rd place. So Complexity really coming out as the favorites when you just look statistically and historically. They've been around for a lot longer. But one thing that we do have to talk about here is, yeah, they made it. They beat them in the winner's side, and then they fell to Maelstrom. They have a roster change. They no longer have McIntyre.
Well, Cognitive's going through roster changes as well, though. It's just like both of them.
Cog's not.
Or they just
a month ago.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah, but this one was like a week before.
Yeah, it was a week.
McIntyre.
Like less than a week, I think.
Yeah,
it was like days.
A couple
days.
It was a couple days.
Yeah.
And like Roger played for them, like he subbed in, but like he'll even say himself, he's just their coach, right?
Yeah, he's their coach. That's like Jared playing a Tempo Storm. Like,
It'll be bad, but it's still impressive though, right? You lose your I'm gonna be real. McIntyre carried that team. He was their best player by a considerable margin. Blinks is up there, but losing McIntyre and then still securing 4th place, that is impressive. Because just going through any roster change, like Maelstrom went from Biceps to Fan, both really solid players, and they dipped. And they're starting to come back up, but they dipped hard.
Yeah.
And they went from McIntyre to Roger, and they still got 4th place. That is really impressive.
You could kind of see it too in, we were talking about how Complexity is really known for their being super aggressive too, and without McIntyre, you could tell that they were kind of trying to figure out their style almost, and they would play some aggressive, but then we'd also see them play not so aggressive too. So, I don't know. It was interesting, but they still did a really good job considering the fact that they did last minute change somebody.
Speaking of roster changes that affected performance, Cloud9 Vortex losing to Goon Squad as well. Cloud9 Vortex, 2 weeks ago, just got 4th in Titan Arena.
But let's just step in and say Goon Squad played phenomenal.
Oh, they did.
They
did.
I am so impressed with their performance. Same goes for COG, and same goes for Pool Play-Dohs. All 3 of those teams, bravo. Amazing performances.
Yep.
Yeah, Pool Play-Doh, I think, is actually probably my favorite of the newer teams, I would have to say, the more newer independent teams. I don't know how to really classify them. Goon Squad, Pool Play-Doh.
They're all new names. All of them. They're relatively...
Team Blaze. Yeah. Those ones, of those, I think Pool Play-Doh is probably my favorite right now. They play so incredibly well. Even the first games against Tempo, too. Yeah, their early game was really good. If they can solidify their late game...
I just thought Pool Play-Dohs was a bit more diverse. Because they only busted out super heavy aggression with Tyrande. And once you figure that out, you can draft around that. Whereas Goon Squad, they had many diverse compositions. They were playing different compositions every time. Yeah. So I hope Pool Play-Dohs isn't just like a one-trick pony that we've seen in the past. Because they played that composition very, very well. But Goon Squad had diversity.
Yeah, Murden Toronto.
They played a lot of Murden. Anytime, I think they would even pick very early in the draft to secure.
B-Kid has a disgusting.
He's got a good Murden.
He is so good at Murden.
Along that same train of thought, hopefully they're not too reliant on Murden moving forward, because that's what we saw. Probably 90% of their games was Murden. So.
But yeah, both of those teams knocked out Vortex.
Yep.
Yeah.
So apparently, Pool Play-Doh is going to have a roster change.
Yeah, they're trying out Chew 8.
Interesting.
For some reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
Okay, shots.
Um,
Early in the episode there. For
You gonna explain yourself there, buddy, or are you just gonna throw that and just walk away?
They're currently what place did they get? 6th, 5th, 6th, something like that.
Pool Play-Dohs
Yeah.
did place, well, 5th, yeah.
With those kind of results, you can get a lot of really good players. You don't need to, scrape the bottom.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, on that note, not to say that they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel, but we can see that there's a lot of teams looking for one more member. 2Arc is now out of, or
Yeah, who do you
Well, yeah,
I believe
They dropped
it's Chubbs,
Suki?
or not Chubbs. Who's the one who is in Japan right now?
Quibsy.
Quibsy. So-
Quibsy,
Quibsy,
but they've
that's
been playing
it.
with.
Sorry.
They've been
let's
playing with,
let's just halt the roster changes real quick because I want to just talk about the results first. Then we'll talk about that.
Sure.
We can just look at it very quickly. Tempo Storm did win once again, but since they already secured their spot last month, that means that the winner of the upper bracket, or the making it to the upper bracket, guarantees you a spot in regional. So Cloud9 then qualified, and then it came down to this final match between the rematch between Complexity and Cog. Cog did advance, getting 3rd place ultimately, but qualifying for North America Regionals, which is a big deal. That's a $100,000 prize pool happening in September, and well, that's props to them. But you guys are now talking about roster changes, and if we look at this list here, if we look back at some of the lower places, 4th Complexity, we know they already had a roster change, but down to 8th, these two teams placing last.
Yeah.
They're names we've seen in these events for a long time have both said they're recruiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, 2Arc is constantly trying to find somebody to fill in the void quite often. They keep having not roster changes, but like they have their coach sub in, they have that.
I think they were grasping, like they Quibsy's been there since the start, right? Like they were grasping onto the idea of holding on to him, right? But that I guess apparently isn't the case anymore.
So is he the one that's officially gone?
That's my
They
assumption.
won't officially say anything, what I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
They're just kind of saying we need a new
But it
member.
is a flex
but
person
he
that they're
didn't.
looking
He didn't
for.
play this weekend.
No.
I don't remember. I don't think it's.
He didn't
It was-
play. Suki played.
I remember.
Suki
Suki played in the qualifier, and Suki played in because Quibsy's out of practice, out of the meta, doesn't know this patch. He was in Japan for a while. That's interesting. We'll find out. But what would you guys expect? I mean, you guys are saying they're looking for flex.
Based on the fact that he's been the one missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're looking for that, but I mean, all signs are pointing towards it without them actually officially saying it, so that
He
would make
was
sense.
their flex.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
So
Oh.
it's a curiosity because they're looking for one more. So possibly Cloud9 is looking for one more. They were swapping in and out quite a bit, and then
Full Play-Dohs, Complexity, Cloud9 Vortex, and then
Clumplexity.
2Arc.
yeah, 2Arc.
I like
Those
that.
So a lot of looking for
four
more
of
is
the
going on
teams
right
in
now.
the top 8 are doing
Looking for
roster
more.
changes right now.
Yep. Again, it's always the really the big thing of, do you do it now or do you wait a little bit longer? Because if you try and get somebody now, you have to have that synergy by BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have everything synced up and ready to go.
Well
by BlizzCon.
before then. You got to
Yeah.
get there before regionals because 2 of the 3 North American qualifiers are done. We've got August. There are 2 more spots in the U.S. or NA, Canada, U.S. Left. That's it. And that's why I think, Cloud9, 2Arc, when they lose to up-and-coming teams like Cognitive and Pool Play-Doh and Goon Squad, they have to say, oh, no, we might not make it to regionals even. That's
Yeah, I gotta get something sorted out soon.
fire under the feet.
Yeah.
This is it. One more chance. Now is the argument that a lot of people would like us to have had in the past. I don't know if we've ever really gone into this too much. The structure of these events is based on placement, not based on points. You could get unlucky and hit Tempo Storm in the round of 32, like Stellar Lotus. They hit Cloud9 the round of 32 last month. Suddenly, you're just, luck of the draw is against you. Sure, seeding does come into some factor, but it can...
So look what happened to 2Arc last event.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We knocked them out
So
with
now
16.
suddenly, you have no chance. There are no points that carry you into regionals. It's literally strictly based on seeding, and maybe Goon Squad gets the easiest bracket in theory next month, and they get second place, and they earn themselves a spot or whatever. Obviously, if you get second place, you deserve it.
Yeah.
But they get fourth place, and it's first, second, third happens to be Tempo, Maelstrom, Cog, and then it's like fourth, fifth they get in. They get in by an easier bracket. Do you guys think this is a good structure? Can this structure should it exist next year?
What do you mean it's not seeded? I don't.
Well, I'm just saying it could be a point system where if like you got fifth, like say you got fifth in June and July, and then you get eighth in August.
Right.
Okay.
Well, fifth place would have actually qualified you for the event in August, but not in June and July. And I'm just kind of saying, do you think this is a good system?
Well, you got to play well when you need to. I don't know how that's like any less of an argument.
I think for the qualifiers for regionals,
I'm just saying point system
That's
versus like this month, like fifth place qualifies, but the month prior it doesn't. Just because
I think for the most part, I like this system so far. You can get seeded points. The first tournament was obviously like everything was just kind of starting off, so they only allowed one place to go through, which makes sense. It was also the lowest prize pool because they didn't have any seeding, so it was just kind of like a RNG of whether or not you were actually in a good bracket and you can get all the way to the round of 8. Past that, I like the fact that these next 2 tournaments are exactly the same. You just have to be in the top two positions in the round of 8. Depending on whoever actually is already qualified to be able to go through, and to get to those positions, you need to get seeding points so that you can get through the normal best of 3 bracket beforehand. So it all makes sense. I don't.
Yeah. So the argument is you play well and you get your spot. So why is that?
But what I'm saying is like I'm on Goon Squad, and I got 4th place.
Okay.
Or no, in this case, Complexity. I got 4th place in July.
Okay.
But next month, 4th place might actually advance to regionals, whereas this month it didn't. It's
Right.
like, well, I placed the same, but because the situation is different, now I got 6th place and I don't qualify, but Goon Squad, who got 4th, they do qualify for regionals.
You should look at it as which teams you need to beat to advance.
I'm just saying, do you guys think this is how it should exist for future events? You think it's fine?
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
I would like it to go a little bit more the WCS model eventually, and I assume that's what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Like probably next year.
Yep.
I feel like if they can roll out a system that makes sense and it's ahead of time.
Right. Right.
Way ahead of time.
All over the place, like with
Right now, yeah, we're kind of all over the place with how everything's being kind of doled out in terms of.
Well, Europe just got
qualifying spots and all
announced.
that. Yeah, Europe was just like, hey, by the way, it's going to be a couple days. Hope you're going to be able to play.
Yeah.
I think points also allows for things like maybe a team doing just super well or super badly for a specific patch as well. Because like if that's the case, then say somebody's going through a roster case or something like that, and they just totally tank one of the opens, but like Complexity got 3rd in June, 4th in July, they would still have points that would be able to carry them through to the bigger one. I like that
That's
system.
Yeah. It rewards like playing well and then
steady play throughout. Yeah.
And you could make the argument that this is buying time for new teams to catch up so that they're not screwed by the 3rd one. You could argue that's beneficial for this since the game is so young. Like, say, Pool Play-Dohs didn't get to play in June, hypothetically. And they had a breakout performance here in July. And then they happen to place, 4th place next month. It rewards them being good then. So I guess that's an argument. But I just find it an interesting topic.
Part of the issue, though, that comes up with those points is, like, with innovation, I think it was, like, BlizzCon 2013, he, like, got a ton of points way early in the year, and he had so many points that he still got to go to BlizzCon, but by the time we got to BlizzCon,
he sucked.
He was terrible.
He sucked.
And so, that's kind of the problem with that as well. So I guess there's...
Well, that would still exist here, though.
It would, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it would still, like, if Tempo Storm starts, completely
Tanking.
losing everything,
Okay.
they're still, they were 1st place already. As long as they do the same thing that they're doing right now, it's an okay system. Maybe the points later on would be better, but again, it has to be ahead of time that external, like, so that if there's a WCA and an MGA and a BlizzCon, I don't know, like something that's happening the end of this month for EU, where it's all like kind of like conflicting. There's an option where it's like you still get points, you still are able to go through BlizzCon, because otherwise it just becomes like, okay, well, no matter what, we have to play BlizzCon, so all these other tournaments are out of this.
And they do have that. They offer a lot of the big tournaments for WCS.
Exactly, for
Like
WCS. That's what I love.
You can earn.
That's what I love about it. So I hope that's going to go through next year.
All right, well, we'll see. I think it's an interesting debate, but as it stands, NA, they've got one more event. 2 teams can still advance forward. We know 3 thus far are Tempo, Cloud9, and Cognitive. The other regions are all underway, but Europe is about to begin this weekend. So
I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. I think what NA has is nice because the tournaments are kind of structured, at least it seems for the most part, around patches. So it's like there's a big patch that hits, a new hero comes out like right after the event.
Yeah.
You can mess around with the hero, and then there's a culminating qualifier at the end of that patch. And then like the cycle is really nice, but the way this is set up for you, because it's so late, it's like events are like
squeezed.
It was like like a week apart.
Yeah.
Like, and what's like how much is actually going to change? Between this, I mean, you could argue between the first and the third, but after.
Well, they have one advantage in their region, and we'll get there. But we do see this weekend, July Open Qualifier starts. This will be community casts. I believe this is open to everyone. And Kevin, Jared.
Yep, we're going to be casting it. There's going to be, I think, 4 English streams. So we'll be one of them. We're waking up early. It's going to be great.
5 a.m.
How are they solving the? Are they doing a clean feed or like what is the deal with that?
It's not even being.
Those details have not been released yet.
Okay.
I think it. I don't know. It sounds.
It might be clean feed in which English streams would get priority. I mean, like that's how they do it for Gosu, but this is ESL running it, so I don't know how this is all going to get completely done.
Right.
But how Gosu does it is there's English gets priority, and then clean feed goes out to all those who want to cast out off of that. In which case, I don't know. Well, Zoe and I will have to decide who's going to do clean feed, who's going to do production. But
if we want to talk about roster changes, though, holy cow, EU is getting wrecked right now.
Well, yeah, they're all over the place.
They have gone through so many roster changes. Like, if I don't even know who the top 5 are anymore. G2 looked terrible the other day. They looked so bad. Their drafts were weird. Navi's going through roster changes. They drafted Stitches on Haunted Mines as last pick when Zagara was still open. And they went Stitches. EU, I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's Fnatic's going through roster. Like, every team is going through these changes right now.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's just talk about the format real quick in terms of events. Schedule this weekend. We'll see that all unfold. Kev, Zoya will be casting. Round of 8 is then just immediately after. First, second. 15,500. So it's about the same. Second qualifier. They don't even call it June, July, August because they can't. Second qualifier is
3 in the span of the month of August.
Yeah. So this is an off week for NA, but this is the same week as round of 8 for NA.
Oh yeah.
So the final NA qualifier will be the same dates as the NA qualifier for here, which really makes me wonder how scheduling is going to work, because I'm pretty sure they're intending to use the same channel, unless they make twitch.tv/BlizzHere's EU or something. So these events are basically going to be right on top of each other. Granted, there's 9 hours in difference of time zones, so if they start EU at like 10 a.m., maybe it'll work. I don't know. And then the third qualifier, the Open, is the same weekend as PAX Prime. Now, this is really only an issue for 2 teams. Virtus Pro and Team Liquid have qualified for MGA. MGA World Finals is $50,000 happening at PAX Prime. Those 2 teams have flights out to Seattle, and they've already earned their spots. But if they haven't qualified by the third qualifier, they're screwed. They're actually boned. Like TL, I'm sure you guys will qualify in the first one. I really, but. And one thing we have to clarify here, it's EU has 8 teams. So first qualifier, 3 teams. First, second, third, all advance. Second qualifier, 3 more teams. So it's pretty likely that they will, but in the off chance.
But the funny thing here is is that you have 5 days to get to the first qualifier, which, granted, it's not going to be difficult for teams like Team Liquid and all the major ones because they already are devoting their entire lives to this game already, right? It would have been Enter the Storm if they were going to play in something else. So they have 5 days to get into this qualifier. Then they play the next weekend for the round of 8. Hopefully one of those teams, all of the teams that want to get a spot, get their spot there. But in order to keep getting money and accruing more money, they have to play almost every single weekend.
Yeah.
And then make sure that they're going to be able to get all of that before PAX Prime, in which they have to just give up that third qualifier.
Now, fortunately, PAX Prime is more money.
Yes.
It's 50,000. First place is 30 grand at PAX. That's a big deal for MGA. But you also have to say, all right, well, we're playing against, I'm going to go full Zoya here, all these bad EU teams right now versus the best teams in the world. E-Star, MVP Black, likely Tempo Storm, like, who knows? NA qualifiers haven't happened yet, but it's like the competition is much, much higher. And then Liquid has to feel confident, like, well, man, if we just play this third qualifier, that's 35 grand. We walk home 15,000 easy. They know they can beat those teams because they're doing it constantly. They're like, they're crushing everyone. And that's a hard decision to have to make.
You get to go across the world.
That's not a hard decision.
You get to go across the world.
All right.
You go to PAX Prime, play against the best teams in the world. If I was in their position, I'd be like, screw this. We beat the crap out of EU every day. Let's go find some people who are actually worth the challenge.
Here's my question. And this might sound crazy, but because EU is online and PAX is in the Pacific time zone, is it possible they could do both? That'd be insane.
No,
it'd be insane.
No, they can't.
No?
It's not possible. PAX is too long.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know if maybe it was like a possibility, but
the days were
it would still be insane if they'd be playing for so long. They'd be so tired.
They just to speak, I almost went to DreamHack Valencia, and that was a day prior to the NA Open in Cali. And even then, logistically, it didn't make sense. Days apart, a day prior, still didn't make sense. These are the same dates. There's no way to do it.
Plus, you'd have lag.
Yeah.
Plus lag. Yeah, ping.
But I mean,
Ping
if it's TL, then maybe it doesn't matter. But yeah.
There's no way to do that. But the final thing is the regionals for EU is actually going to be sponsored by ESL, and it's $300,000. Now, the NA regionals are 100 grand, EU triple the prize pool. So, although they had to wait all this time and their events are squashed together, if you make it into that top 8, the prizing is so much more.
Yeah.
Like, with how EU's playing right now, can we play from, like, NA and just go to Prague? Because it would be easy with the thing.
Let me find that announcement.
That's so awesome. I'm so jelly of EU.
$300,000 for the EU regionals, man. That's ridiculous.
Congrats, Liquid, because...
They're now... no more student debt for those guys.
Right?
Where is it?
So
that's a ridiculous amount of money.
We're playing these 3 qualifiers, and then it's only the teams from those qualifiers go to the European Championship?
Correct. There will be 8 teams. Yeah. Top 8 advance to the regionals, and regionals will be in Prague with $300,000 total.
What's the total?
It's all the
BlizzCon,
Road to BlizzCon games for EU at the same time too, which is really cool. It's like Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Heroes of the Storm all happening at Prague.
That's true.
At once.
What confuses me is that we have different areas coming into our championship, and these are like the same teams playing over and over again.
That was the initial argument.
For more money.
As soon as they announced it, was like, whoa, why does EU get all of this like love and treatment? You could argue the same for China too, but I think a lot of it probably came down to amount of active teams, and there's a lot less of
China
that.
still has their own like regional event, and we've got Australia and Latin America coming. Latin America makes sense to me, but C and Australia is a bit weird.
Yeah, that was the weird one.
I mean, Australia, I get it, but
no. I don't understand why they don't like compete in like the Taiwan event, or like just lump all that up into one event.
They'd have a chance there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure what the numbers look like for the amount of teams that are competing from Australia and Southeast Asia, but You're getting it's an event for one spot at BlizzCon. I don't know. I guess it's hard to make it.
Did you watch the Australian qualifiers?
I didn't. Are you
Question was sick.
I watched the Southeast Asia ones, but Babel
That was cool.
did a good job.
So on the subject of EU, real quick, because we were talking about a little bit of roster changes. So a couple members of SK have formed together. I have to shout this out because I was so incredibly impressed by the play this weekend.
Yeah.
A couple members of SK, G2's or former G2 ADRD, and I'm trying to remember who the other ones were. Formed this team called Bob ? Absolutely ridiculous team, and I know Bakery and Snitch are sitting in chat, and they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, Sham too," and I really don't want to give them the shout out because I hate both of them. But
okay.
Okay.
but their team, it's like what SK was missing was ADRD, and the fact
That's what
that
EU's missing is someone who has a clue.
So the fact that ADRD is now on this team, they were ridiculous, and they adapt super quickly. Like they were able to, like Roccat was doing really well in game number 1, and then game number 2 I think Roccat actually took it, and then game number I'm trying to remember exactly. It might have been Roccat first game or second game, but it doesn't matter. Third game they adapted, they figured it out, and they just smashed them. Wasn't even a question on game number 3. It was a really, really impressive team. I'm curious to see who's going to pick them up, if they're going to get picked up by anybody. But if you have a chance, go watch Bob versus Roccat. I think
It would be so cool if they got picked up, huh?
God damn it, Zoya. So, small little side story real quick as well. Casting with Caldor all Sunday, and Caldor's like, Bob is such a horrible name for a team. It's like the worst name ever. And he's like, I hate EU team names. They're all stupid. So we pulled Bakery onto TeamSpeak to talk about just like the last game we were watching. And Caldor has to like just pop off. And it's just like, I can't believe you named team Bob. It's such a stupid name for a team. He goes, where did you possibly get this name for a team? And Bakery goes, oh, it was actually your idea, Caldor. And Caldor just goes, like, what? And Bakery goes, yeah, one time during an ESL or something, you were saying that it's really dumb that all these EU teams have all these stupid names. You're like, why can't they go something easy like Bob? So they named their team Bob.
Yes!
Because of Caldor.
On blast.
Hey, Bakery, digital fist bump.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was on stream.
What was this? Like, what do you even say to
He
that?
literally, so this is right before finals, right? So the whole entire time he's like, and you know, I have to quote him directly, so excuse the curse. He's like, it's such a shitty team name. And then he says that, and he's just like, oh my god, why did I ask that question? And I'm just sitting here like, this is perfect. I love this. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Popcorn over there.
Yeah, right? I'm just like,
What is
So,
he just like go silent? What do you even
the rest of the cast, anytime we talk about how, like, I'm just like, Bob, Caldor's like, that's a great team name. Best team name ever.
That's good.
That was so good. Anyway. I just wanted to point that out. Fnatic's roster changes are really crazy, too. Ace of Spades was, I believe...
Coach. Bench to
Yeah.
coach or whatever. Moved to coach.
Moved to coach,
Oh.
yeah. He was playing on another team during the Enter the Storm as well. And that was 4 days ago, I believe that change happened. Hold on, I have a... They moved... they now have Breeze and Wubby. Breeze from Navi,
Navi.
right? Or no?
Navi.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Navi. And then Wubby, and they got rid of Shinobu as well, and they have him in for Mene. So they have completely roster swapped, and that this tournament today, they did ridiculous. I mean, for all those roster changes, they
Yeah.
did really well.
Okay, so they went like.
What? Oh, you don't like their compositions?
I mean, Navi was also going through roster changes, right? Like they lost Breeze, so it's like
Yeah.
they were going up against other teams that had roster changes, and they, like you said, they did really well. They also played against the Stitches.
That's true. That's true.
Kubi's just, it's his new
Kubi
thing.
just
He
left.
He just dips like once a show now. He's just like, I'm gonna dip, so we'll just. Oh, hello.
Hello. Desktop. Hello. Hello.
Team? Can you guys hear that siren behind me?
No.
Yeah,
I
I can hear it.
Sorry.
That amused
now I
me
hear
so
it.
much.
The concert apparently is taking a turn for the worse.
You might want to make sure, you're safe in your home. If there's nothing terrible going on from the concert.
Decent idea.
Team?
All right. So, running through the topics, we talked a lot about the NA Open Europe, finally going to be happening very soon, and of course, everything in Asia has been underway. We'll know our teams before too long. I just kind of want to set the stage because over the next month on Town Hall, we're going to be doing a bit of a specific focus, getting to know some of the teams that are going to be competing in the Masters Gaming Arena. So. Let me just get the link up because I'm terrible.
That's PAX, by the way.
It's at PAX,
Well,
but it's the Masters Gaming Arena finals happening at
understand.
PAX. So is WCA. So there's actually multiple events at PAX. So we can't just call it PAX.
Well, just like putting for people who didn't know what MJA was. It's the big tournament at PAX. It's international.
Yes, it is going to in fact be the first global event, and it's StarCraft and Heroes. Now, if we look at the browser. This is pretty much who's qualified thus far. MVP Black, eStar, Team Liquid, Virtus Pro, and then My Revenge Versus. There will be 2 more teams and then 1 invite. So the next 2 teams will be NA, and the final team will be an invite. I have no idea what the qualifications to be invited is. Anyone have speculations?
For which one?
The invite.
TBD?
There's an invite.
That's weird.
I
They've
think-
given no information about who. No
I think they were
specification.
like, oh, Virtus Pro qualified? Well, let's have a backup invite for someone good in EU.
Maybe, but wow, okay. No, probably not their thinking, but thoughts shired regardless. So, NA, in theory, Cloud9 and Tempo, that's pretty much what most people would suspect, but upsets can happen for sure. That's happening this coming weekend, but anyways, the plan is for the next, for the month of August, is each week we're going to cover a different section. So it's basically going to be we're going to do kind of profiling to teach you guys a little bit more about these other regions, and I think that's beneficial for us too. Like we know a fair amount about their styles, but MVP Black, eStar, and then Liquid VP, and then
Do you know, Jake, if Zeratul exploits are allowed at this event?
they will not be allowed in this event.
Are those banned out? 'Cause
You know what? That's
Just
a great
curious.
segue, Jared.
Let's
Take
jump
it,
into that one.
take it
huh?
away,
Let's get that one out of the way here.
Jared.
Yeah.
Explain, elaborate.
So MVP Black at IEM Shenzhen went up against Virtus Pro, and there was a very interesting Shadow Assault exploit that was used.
Do you
I
have
don't know.
Do you have the video by any chance?
Not on me, no.
I can get you the link.
But
Love you. You're the most valuable host in this show now.
for those of you that remember, like way back when, the feral lunge bug you could do, where you would leap super far, it's the exact same mechanic. You as the lunge starts, you target something else. You attack something else, and it would make a Shadow Assault leap like go very, very far. And basically the point that like Zeratul could farm mid lane and then suddenly like, oh, I need to go down this fight, and then start headed down like and just like Shadow Assault across. It was
So I think it's
was
pretty
crazy.
close to here.
It was something 59, if I'm correctly
It was, yeah, it wasn't into the later game because I was watching it before and I was like, oh, yeah, that's
59?
kind of, it looks fine, whatever. And then there's just this one where he's all the way over. I guess it was right before
It
that
happens
when
twice.
I sent you.
It happens
Yeah, there was
twice in the game. There's 2 different situations where Zeratul will go from a quarter to halfway across the map all the way to like a team fight. And you could say maybe they didn't quite, there was a weird bug in the first team fight. I don't know. I'm saying like, people were like, maybe it's a weird bug, and but it's like, no, they got into a 4v5 or even a 3v5. I don't remember exactly, in an aggressive position where it was an absolute suicide if you were to get into that fight unless your Zeratul was there. And then Zeratul goes from mid to the fight in a half a second. Like,
Dread and I were
weird.
testing.
Yeah, look, if you're looking at him on the mini map, it's like,
it's
weird.
It's a big
It's
exploit.
like a hit. It's like a hunt from the Illidan, basically. It's really fast. Like,
Well,
Dread and I
and
were-
something else I saw in there too is they actually got their heroics first, but he does not pick up Shadow Assault until Virtus Pro picks all of theirs up, and then he grabs Shadow Assault.
He waited so long to.
It was very intentional.
What was crazy is that Todd like called it immediately. He was just like they weren't even like at the point where they were waiting to pick the heroic, and then Todd was like, "So you gonna run Shadow Assault?" And I was actually like impressed that he even brought that up because like 100% of the time it's always VP. Yeah. And then he was just, and Claris was just like, no, that's
yeah, but it's just like when you're thinking about it, like if you're going VP, you're grabbing it. He's like, why else would he be not going it? Yeah. He's like, they have something cheeky in mind. So props to Todd. Props to both of them for casting that because I know they did that in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
With as many issues that they had too, like they had like I don't know if anybody was, if anybody here was actually trying to watch as it was live. It was like 1 billion hours between each game.
Yeah.
The first game was literally like a 1920s slideshow, where it's like, you didn't get anything. And then even in that game, if you listen closely enough, all of the audio was like desynced like 20% of the time. It was miserable. But they were able to stay through it, and that had to have been rough. I can't imagine casting that.
So back to the glitch or the exploit. My gut reaction from a Street Fighter background or even just like fighting game is like, that's awesome. Props to them for doing that. And I'm like still adjusting to the whole like, but there's this like really weird gray area of like, don't exploit stuff and like, what's an exploit? What's not okay to do? Like, I don't know. I'm still getting used to that. And I mean, you guys have the league background a little bit more.
Let's look at this real quick. You're gonna let the settings fix itself. You can see Zeratul's right here. I know this is like still buffering, so it looks like poo. You can see Zeratul's figure is right here. Thank you. Who linked it to me? Thank you, Latspell.
Oh, rip.
He gave me. I couldn't find it, Gilly. There's no time.
It was like right before.
Oh, see, there he goes. Oh! Zeratul's there.
Yeah. It's not. You can't do it global, by the way. It's a very like the lunge can only like you do a single lunge and it can only go so far.
Zeratul?
Yeah.
Zeratul? Ready? Thinking about it.
So wait, what is the approximate range of like the furthest lunge that you can
I think it's about 800.
Unless we were like just bad at it, the best Dreadnought I could do was from bottom fort, like the left one, from the tower to the watchtower on the bottom right. That's the farthest we could get it to go.
That's about what he pulled in mid. That's pretty close.
That's the furthest we could get it to go.
It's like one lane to another.
Like, just thinking about the mechanics of executing it, it's not easy. Like, probably have to set camera hotkeys, and there's
It is hard to do. There was no way it was accidental, especially since it happened twice. Like, I could see it happening, like, randomly, just like, oops, once, but it happened 2 times in a row.
But why would you cast it in the first place when you're that far away?
First of all, it's not an accident. It's not an accident.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way to argue it. Like Gilly just said, why would you press R? Why would you activate that heroic in that scenario?
You're not clearing a creep wave with heroic. So
no,
that's the thing.
Not a case. So I don't know what the ruling is.
Yeah, I don't think they've come out with an official ruling for that yet either. But I know Claire said that he mentioned it or told them or something.
Oh, ESL admins were looking at it. Yeah.
So how does everyone feel about this?
I think it's fine. Like, once it gets found out, like, look at the Tyrael exploit. Teams were like, for 2 days, we're like, why are these dorks picking Sanctification? Why are you doing this? Oh, they're using an exploit that's broken in the game right now. It got banned then, but no one was like, 2Arc, you're running Sanctification because of this exploit. You're in trouble, right?
So what's the point in which it becomes a problem? Because we skip back in time. Remember the invulnerable minions that were game breaking, where if you shield the heroic of Asmodan from Tassadar, they literally push until the game ends. They couldn't die. They lasted forever, and they couldn't die. If you argue that these exploits are acceptable to use in tournaments, then how is that any different?
No, well, okay, there is a difference because that one is just like that's just guaranteed victory. This one is like slight advantage.
It's an exploit, man. How do you draw that line?
Hold on. I agree with you that no exploits should be used ever. That'll I agree with you. But there is a difference. There's a huge difference between something that's like you make a minion invulnerable or you block the enemy team into like their spawning point or something like that and they can't move. There's a pretty sizable difference there between that and like Zeratul can pop up.
One's game breaking, one's not. Like
so how do you enforce
remember when
it?
Murden was bugged and he had the increased HP regen? Like,
yeah,
that was
Or the
not,
Brightwing double heal.
or the Brightwing double
Brightwing
heal.
Okay.
Like,
Well, so wait. But so then that's a little bit different too. That's more of a bug than an exploit. A bug is something
that's true.
that innately works
Right.
differently. An
Yes.
exploit is something you execute in
Exactly.
order to take advantage of that bug.
Like that Asmodee thing is something that you specifically have to do. When are you going to use shield on Asmodee's heroic, let alone pick up that heroic, right?
So Hollandus brings up a good one, which was the bribe on the chest on Blackheart's Bay. That was
Yeah.
another one that was an exploit. That's that's too much, right? Because that's just an instant chest for you.
yeah.
how do you draw the line and where? Kubi, I'd like to hear your thoughts because you have a lot of tournament admin background.
I'm trying to think of analogies from either Smash or Street Fighter, and there's nothing that really fits this category. That's why I was kind of, I first saw it, I was like, that's awesome. Props to those guys for figuring it out and executing it in the middle of a tournament match. And like, I was just like, that's cool. And then everyone else was like, this is awful, this is trash, how could they do this? And I was like, my gut reaction was just like, well, what's wrong with this?
It just has to be a
there is
snap
a gray
reaction.
area. Yeah, there definitely is a gray area though because of all the other stuff that you guys have brought up. So like, where do you draw that line? From like you bring up my tournament like admitting background, but there's really no good analogy that I can think of to
The best thing I
Smash
can
or
think
Street
of
Fighter.
is like StarCraft 2, like if there was a map right where it happened a lot early on, where like someone would suddenly be like, if you put siege tanks in this spot and you have this spawn location, you get a huge advantage because you can like siege it up on the high ground behind their base or like some weird spots like that.
I remember that
Tournament
map.
admins would ban that tournament. Then like you can't play this map the rest of the tournament. So as long as it's not like game breaking, like a forced win, the tournament admin should be like, the moment Material Sanctification was realized it was bugged, it was banned from every tournament. They didn't go back and slap the hands of everyone that used it.
Okay, here's a question though: was it banned in the middle of a tournament?
Yes.
Material Sanctification was.
I banned the
Halfway through.
sanctification.
Yeah.
banned, okay.
Halfway through Titan Arena.
Now,
was
in
so.
a situation where it's an execution and it's difficult, such as the Shadow Assault bug, if they banned it in the middle, is that unfair
No.
to the team that's running it? Because they're the only ones that can do it.
They
So
know it's an exploit. They know they're taking a risk with running it. That's their
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
So the difference between there's a weird thing there with the sanctification versus the Zeratul exploit, right? Because sanctification, I don't think even Platos, I think it was full Platos, I don't remember exactly who was playing, even knew that sanctification had a bug, and I can't prove, or no tournament organizer can prove that they knew that sanctification was bugged in that way. However, the Zeratul thing, there is a gosh
there's
darn
evidence.
Yes.
There's evidence
method to do it.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is how I feel about it. You were alluding to Melee, and Melee would not be the game that it is today if there wasn't exploits. StarCraft Brood War is also the same way. Mutalisks, you would
stacking.
Yeah, exactly. You'd exploit the way that the move commands work so that you could have a billion Mutalisks sitting on top of each other, and you can't single target a Mutalisk down unless you are really freaking good and really lucky, or your opponent messed up really badly. I feel like the difference between Melee and StarCraft and this type of thing is you were hiding it. You knew it was wrong. You didn't come out and say anything about it. Whereas in StarCraft Brood War, I think July brought it out, but it was known before then. Like July kind of brought it to light. And in Melee, correct me if I'm wrong, Melee people, but it seems like anytime somebody figures out a new technique, which is like exploiting something, they immediately post videos and be like, "Yo, check out this really cool shield dropping technique where I can up air going from this."
Well, I mean, definitely not necessarily true. Wobbling was unveiled in tournament, if I'm not mistaken. That was kind of kept under wraps.
Okay, wobbling is pretty good actually.
And wobbling is a technique in Smash Brothers where you desynchronize the two ice climbers, and basically if you grab your enemy's character, you can combo them infinitely. If you do it properly, and you just punch, they can't get away. You can guarantee a kill as long as you can hold the combo, and it's something that was invented by a player named Wobbles. He busted it out, and people were just like, "How the hell do you fight this?" And well, you can't. And that is a controversial thing that was in a lot of Smash tournaments. Some tournaments it was banned, other tournaments allowed it because in Smash there's no patching. You can't just patch it out. Blizzard will patch this out, guaranteed. But I don't know if we should. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to keep talking about this. We've talked about it a lot.
It's a good topic. We haven't had anything quite like this pop up.
No, this is like drama. Like this is like legit.
Yeah, this is
Because that changes a tournament's, how a tournament goes.
Exactly.
I feel like if it's noticed, it should immediately be banned in the tournament. And you can't change.
So
I don't think you can change the result of a match.
let me pose this to you guys. Hopefully, I can explain it in a way that will make sense. So yeah, like me and Jake, our background is Smash. I'm thinking of an example that would be like very skill dependent, but also does not really allow the player to sort of interact with it. Maybe if someone was able to infinitely shine combo in such a way that you could just bounce them back and forth, drill shining with Fox or something, like just but like that's insanely difficult to do, but also makes it so that you just, if you touch them on a flat surface, they're done.
Right.
So like, do you ban that? Like if someone actually practices enough, goes to Evo, and is able to execute that on every stage,
Yeah.
what do you just say? No, this guy can't play. No more shining. Like what? Like
Okay.
I think the difference is Hero. Like we're in a different age of gaming, right? Like
Yeah.
Kevin said, Melee doesn't get patched.
Yeah.
Heroes
I didn't say
is
that.
a game that gets whoever said it. Kubi said Melee didn't get patched. The Heroes is a game that's constantly getting updated, and it has a way it should be played. If you're using something that's clearly not intended, which the Zeratul exploit is clearly not intended, then that should be banned out mid-tournament.
But my question is, all of these tournaments have a rule set. My tournament has a rule set that says don't use any bugs or exploits. Where does this fall? Do I say that match is now forfeit because you guys clearly just used...
Oh, that's on the admins, of course, but...
Yeah, but so that's the question, though. I mean, like, some of us have to deal with these
If it's in the
tournaments.
rules,
What do we
if the
feel?
rules say if you use an exploit in the event, then that's a forfeit, like straight up. Like if I was
Lose
an
the
admin
match.
in MLG and you use some kind of bunker bug that blocks them in their base permanently, whatever, some fake bug in StarCraft, and you bust that out to buy time for a timing attack or something, and it's caught, that's a loss. Done.
what about the feral lunge? That's an exploit. Do you ban that?
Yeah, it's true.
Still, there's always a gray area.
This
Yeah.
Zeratul thing is not like completely game changing. Like, it makes it difficult to, but still, it takes a lot to
When he
execute
did the
it.
Shadow Assault exploit, they were
Yeah.
3 levels up. Like
Right, no, it
Still won
didn't.
the game.
It did not decide the game.
No,
we
no,
should
no.
make
Yeah.
that very clear.
Yeah.
Like, if they ran Void Prison, they probably would have ended the game even sooner.
Honestly, it was
Still
probably
won,
BM if anything to do it.
Yeah.
Like
But
bad idea.
there's still a point where there could be something that's a little bit more devastating, but is also difficult to execute all along this line. What if for some reason the target that gets hit by the first Shadow Assault, the further you travel, the more damage it does.
Oh!
And, all of a sudden it just
Suddenly
takes
your
away
head wig?
3/4 of their HP. Do you ban that?
Yeah.
There's always good. Look, you say yeah, but then is this worth banning?
There was
There's going to be a line somewhere where it's okay, over this line, yeah, you ban it. Under, no, you don't.
Okay.
There was a bug. There still might be a bug. I don't know if anybody's ever actually patched it out. But if you void prison a fort while the Grave Golem's about to go attack it, it goes past it.
Oh, I don't know if that's a bug.
That was the thing.
I know in Haunted Mines, you could just be like, oh, we got a 100 skull golem this time. Boop. Well, guess what? Now it's going straight to your keep towers.
Yeah.
So that changes the outcome of a match pretty decently.
Yeah, true.
So now, is that match forfeit? Do they have to play it again? Do they have to redraft? These are the types of questions. I don't know.
My opinion on this is, if a team has been able to find something like this, and no other team has found it, they didn't tell anyone, and they're able to execute it, I don't think it should force them to lose a game like that. I think it's you make a decision afterwards, after that game.
Which is probably why they didn't do it until the last game.
Yeah, I think unless there's a situation where a hero is unplayable, I think that's the only thing that I would draw the line at.
Okay.
To say mid game you lose because you did this, but let's say something happens an accident where it used to be, what was it? Diablo would overcharge
People through walls.
No,
Go
it wasn't
forever.
even,
You're talking about the flame stomp?
you could put someone into the ground and they were just you couldn't play them anymore.
Oh.
Game.
Yeah.
If that happens in an actual
Well, that's like
That's like a-
bobbity boop. That's a easy regame.
right, okay, that's what I'm saying. In that case, that would be a regame. I don't think you regame at that moment.
No, you don't regame at that moment.
So I think you would, if it's something that's really bad, you make a call after the match.
all right. Yeah.
You don't forfeit
Yeah.
the match. Unless
Alright.
something like that
I
happens.
think we've covered this enough.
Let's
It's on
wrap
the
it up.
floor.
The final point is it a bad mannered unrespectful thing to do, disrespectful thing to do.
If they have to exploit to win, okay.
Coops,
What is it again?
is this disrespectful to bust us out in a tournament like this?
No.
No?
Nah.
JC?
I think yeah.
Kev?
I think, yeah.
I think so too.
I would like it if people who found out exploits would just air them out. We'd have to deal with it in Hero League for a bit, but whatever.
Yeah, address it so Blizzard can fix it. If this was a known thing prior, then shame on Blizzard. Otherwise, I think these things should be addressed prior to tournaments. Like, hey, this is a thing. All right, so moving on, let's actually talk. Let's switch from esports a little bit. Let's talk a bit about this guy.
Leoric.
We have to.
Yeah?
What's the matter, Zoya? Penny for your thoughts.
Leoric, the newest warrior in Heroes of the Storm, a bit of a bruiser, has entered the Nexus as of yesterday. Skeletal Swing, Drain Hope, Wraith Walk, Entomb, March of the Black King, and Undying. He's a bit of a unique hero. Fits his own new flair. Very different from the rest of the warriors in the roster. Jared, you don't seem too thrilled about him. Let's elaborate.
First of all, he should be a specialist, in my opinion. I think he's weird enough to be qualified as a specialist. That trait is insane. It plays in such a different way than any other mechanic in the game, especially when you talent into it. He should be a specialist. See, that is a really, really weird hero. The fact that he's tanky doesn't qualify him to be a warrior, in my opinion, because he is such a different play style. Okay, then why is he
style?
Because he's tanky too. He's got more health than Leoric, actually.
He's like, who, Asmodan?
Yeah.
Because he like focuses on pushing. Like his entire kit is to push for the most part. Globes of Annihilation, his Generals of Hell, everything is to push. Specialists are, for the most part, pushing heroes.
I love how he drags his feet.
He's got a really weird walk. He walks actually like me, but
you walk like you're dead, Skeletor. Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
I think he's fine warrior. He's just a bruiser. That's basically it.
Yeah.
High health, decent damage.
Slow attack speed.
Yeah, no CC. That's basically what a bruiser is, through and through.
Yeah, but that trait is so different from anything in the game that...
Oh yeah, I agree.
Anyone's just like, oh, I want to try out this new warrior, I'm new to the game, and then it's like
all
what
these...
the hell is going on?
This is probably like a real huge blanket statement, but I mean, it's close enough to Diablo's that it's like...
No. You need to quit.
That's why I said it's a blanket statement, but it's still like a hero rezzing. It's not like that crazy.
Yeah.
That it would be like, oh, he's a specialist now. I don't think that's more ridiculous of a statement, I think.
Well, I mean, that's not like my gripe with the hero, though.
Right.
Yeah,
it was just something that I thought of, like, I don't know if I would classify him as a...
You always do this way. You always, like, focus on one thing. So tell us, what's on your mind about Leoric?
I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the past, right, when we go deep on the Warriors. There's the three main things. It's utility crowd control, it's damage, and then it's tankiness. On the tankiness department, if you actually talent him right, like if you go for like a lifesteal type build, he is super tanky. Not in the aspect, he can get bursted down, so you don't, like, in that aspect he isn't tanky, but in an actual fight where you're lifestealing properly and you're using his kit to its fullest, he is hard to take down. He can like his heal kit is like similar to Butcher's Brand, if you talent and you get like enough stacks of the region glove. So he's really tanky in that aspect. But his damage just feels underwhelming, and like his only crowd control is Entomb, which isn't really a crowd control.
I mean, it is, but it's not a stun, right?
Yeah.
It's a space controller. You can zone with it. It's good for like chasing. Like if you're chasing with this. Yeah. And then you can throw down the Entomb. The plays are actually... I mean, you can make cool plays, but...
no, it's not his only crowd control. Skeletal Swing also slows, 40%.
Well,
it's technically crowd control.
It's called a multi-shot crowd control at the end of the day, though, at level 13.
Oh!
It is.
Snap!
That is literally the definition of crowd control.
Well, either way, I mean... I'm not too impressed with him right out the gates. I feel, and no one on the team is. Soldier thinks he will work in double warrior compositions.
Yeah.
which seems to be the rising meta. Korea has been running it. We're the only ones in NA currently running it, and EU runs weird versions of Double Warrior, but it's still Double Warrior.
Yeah, you guys ran some Double Warrior over the weekend. The only team to run it. The new Muradin. Did you go Johanna with any other one? No, it was just a new Muradin.
You shouldn't run Johanna in Double Warrior.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's my feeling as well. Just like the Bruiser that kind of pairs with someone else that has DCs, I don't really think that he will work out as a solo warrior.
No,
I would agree.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I would put him above Sonya, but like not quite in the spot, like just underneath like the Vala's Falstad tier. I feel like just under that is if
What
I
does
had
that
to-
mean?
I would put him
Like,
I
where
would put
they
him
would
in
get
line with
picked.
Arthas.
Above Sonya is like saying
Yeah.
you're not.
Well,
the
I
worst
was
hero in
comparing
the
the
game
two.
for
If
me.
we're talking bruisers, he's better than Sonya in a bruiser sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
I put him in line
yeah.
with Arthas, but have a different use. Arthas is going to be picked more frequently for.
I think
Holy
he'll be
Blast.
Tyrael tier. I think he'll be Tyrael tier.
Yeah, I would.
If the meta shifts to Double Warrior, I think he'll be like picked around where Tyrael
Yeah.
normally gets picked.
In fact, he really is pretty much
Damn.
just like
King Caffeine popping in the chat saying same thing Zoya said about Johanna. Ooh.
Yeah, Rex. I said
Honestly,
Johanna was going to be
I feel
godlike,
like-
and she is.
I feel like he's just like the reverse of Tyrael. Tyrael's more of like dive into the middle of the enemy composition, do stuff. He's more of like the Peely kind of
Yeah.
slow down,
He's
maybe even work well
he's
with an
not
Arthas. Who knows?
Gilly. Come on.
So no, he's not.
He's definitely not Peel.
Well,
He's
not
just
so
the
much.
guy that's like
Gilly, but-
constantly in the middle of the battle doing
Yeah.
damage. Like, I don't really feel like spending resources dealing with this guy.
Yeah, but he's better than
Swings.
Tyrael in that regard, though. Like Tyrael is like kind of get into the back line and do a whole bunch of stuff, and then possibly have to get back out because he doesn't really have a huge high health pool. But this guy, I don't know. I'm really kind of
He
curious
doesn't
of where
really
he's
have
going
much
to
of a health pool. I mean, unless you're speccing into
Oh,
it.
I mean, you can spec into tankiness, but
be. Yeah, tankiness. That's what I mean. Like sustain.
Right.
You
You
can for Tyrael as well.
yeah, he definitely has a lot of life steal, but it doesn't help him with burst.
But
He
yeah,
can
that's
stay
healthy.
alive. He's a great laner. He's fine in the jungle. I wouldn't say he excels as much as I thought he would. I thought he would be amazing in the jungle, and he's not really that exceptional. What do you guys think in terms of maps? Corey and I have talked at large about this. Curse makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. Entomb, powerful for zone control.
Yeah, Dragonshire.
The trait to stay alive, of course, turns to a ghost, so you can stay around. And then Dragonshire,
I
similar.
think Dragonshire will be his best map. I think that map is good, especially if you have a hero where you need to stick them in the top lane. Like Anubarak
Yeah.
always seems to go into that top lane spot. Leoric will fit that very well. Plus the trait benefiting to hold the top shrine very easily, especially early game to get like early dragons and stuff. I think that'll be strong.
I don't see him having a weak map. I mean, if you're a
Yeah.
good enough hero, you're going to be good on all maps. It's only heroes that are like kind of bad that when they have maps they like shine on,
Okay.
or they've set like a niche playstyle. I don't really know if I'd say any map he'd be like particularly bad at. Maybe mines, just because I'm not too happy with he's not like the best sieging warrior, right?
He's really good at the first mine phase because he's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
always there. He's always there.
Yeah,
He deals
well,
a lot of
I mean, not only
damage
that, but
to
his
non-heroic
Q,
sources.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
Q would be great for mines.
One
That's
Q.
all I can say.
Yeah.
One Q.
yeah, but how do you
Good
push
wave.
with him, right? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything with Arthas works on that map because
Right.
he's got the root.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
Arthas makes
also-
more sense.
He's
Yeah.
also absolutely garbage at defending. Like,
Oh, he's
Yeah.
worthless.
against a golem, like what kind of damage you're gonna do. So on
Yeah.
that respect, I agree.
Yeah.
I think people are like overrating the trait in terms of like where and what he's gonna be effective against. Like that shouldn't be like it's a good thing that he has, and especially really late game there are ways you can spec into it so that it's short. But I think like trying to plan your early game around dying a lot, and it's way out of proportion right
My
now.
chat knows when I play Leoric, I'm just a big murky.
I
I'm
watch
always
you
in the
stream all
battle.
I watch you stream all the time, and whenever you play any hero, you're a big murky. You're just always dead.
Damn, Thought Shired. You're not
So-
wrong. All right, let's talk a little bit about one of the bugs that exists with him. Another exploit in some regards. Drain Hope. Grab the enemy's hero soul, dealing up to 25% of their maximum health.
Oh yeah.
This applies to the Dragonite and the Plant Terror when you're controlling it. It's a hero controlling it. It treats it like it. So if you drain a Plant Terror, 25% of its health goes away in 4 seconds. Just gone. You just walk with it, quarter of its health gone.
What?
It's ridiculous. I was playing Garden today, and I'm just evaporating these terrors.
How did that happen?
It's a real bad bug.
I don't understand how that gets through playtesting.
Yeah, like
it's so big.
It's pretty bad. So
It's really
I would
bad.
have guessed. Honestly, I would have guessed it wouldn't be targetable because it seems like
That's what
everything
you-
else.
right, so
that
you try to
sets
target
like
a golem or something, but since it's a hero controlling it, counts as a heroic source. And this is something that obviously needs to be hot fixed because it's
ungoofed.
It's
I have to question what their QA looks like because they are that and the ghosts look the same too, don't they? Like if you have
on the
two
minimap?
Leorics on both sides, those ghosts look.
Oh, they
exactly
look the same. And the mini map, it doesn't ever show it as like grayed out or anything. Like if there's a ghost on your mini map, it looks like Leoric's there. It's like, oh god, Leoric's right next to me. It's like, oh, it's just a ghost. Go away.
Yeah. But that dragon thing is.
Yeah, it's
I'm usually like willing to give a little bit of leeway on that type of thing, but that seems pretty bad. Like, did they just not play the hero on the map? Either of the maps?
Any of those maps, right? That's a
kind
number
what
of
it seems
maps.
like
that's 2 maps. 2 maps. But
Yeah, sure, 2 maps. But still,
Yeah, it's bad. Like I played with it on the garden, and I was like,
that's
whoa.
I haven't played Dragon in like months. It feels like, but I played on Garden today, and it's ridiculous. Like I just tried it haphazardly, and it's like, are you serious? Are you serious?
That's how I noticed. That's how I noticed. It was like that did a lot of damage, and then it was like, oh,
I
that
just
was
followed
25%,
Like
huh?
I just teams like Leoric getting the terror. I'm like, no, I'm defending. They're like, you're weak. I'm like, not against that thing.
wow.
Yeah, it's.
Did you know you can also B-step while in ghost form?
Oh yeah, that's hype. You can.
That's so
That's
hype.
very important.
You can taunt
Yes.
and dance while in ghost form. So if you
I
you don't want to lower your cooldown, you can just sit there and dance on your. You can follow your enemies and taunt them, and Leoric has like the best taunt in the game. Yeah.
What is it?
hilarious.
Oh man, I'll show you. I was
the
doing it
ghost
before.
pops
Okay, good.
It's so hype.
Because I know the dance is Thriller, which is pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool. Can you see this? Do I have it on?
No.
oh,
No.
Hello?
hello.
How about now?
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
what are you doing? Oh, you dancing?
Well, we'll dance first.
Very nice.
And then, pretty
What's that?
badass.
Oh, that's awesome.
What is that?
He's like, come at me, bro. His ghost comes out.
Yeah, but what command is that? I can't read it.
Slash taunt.
Slash
Oh,
taunt.
slash on it.
So, my original thought when they data mined Leoric, I said, garbage here. Still hold it. Still think that he's not going to be a very good hero.
After Johanna, I'm gonna withhold my freaking judgment. Jeez.
I thought Johanna would be good.
I thought Johanna was gonna be pretty underwhelming, and then yeah. Oops.
I think Leoric will see play. I think
It's
he
going to be
will.
rare.
Huh? Yeah, I think he's going to be a rare pick. I think he's going to be that very specific composition. So we actually cast 2 games last night. We cast a match between Cloud9 Maelstrom and Stellar Lotus, and this isn't the best reference point because he had been out from he had been out for a couple hours. Stellar Lotus first picked him game 1, and we didn't really see anything happen.
No.
But then we saw Caffeine playing him. We saw some really cool promise where they were going into the back line with Muradin and just like blowing kids up, like locking them down. Caffeine would hide, and then he'd whip his ghost form around. So once it's coming at you, it's much quicker. You don't see it being activated, and his body's safe. And then bam, he's in your face and he's smacking you with a sword.
Did he do that with March of the Black King? I can't remember.
Yeah, he did. He would go to the back line and then try to march through them.
Yeah,
And then they had Triple Warrior, right?
that was triple.
Yeah.
Tyrael, Muradin, is that what it was?
Did they have Tyrael with it? They
No,
might
was
have.
it Tyrael and Ubrak or Tyrael Muradin?
I think it was
Oh
Tyrael.
no, I stopped
Tyrael
watching
Martin?
after game 1.
Tyrael Muradin in
And then-
Stellar Lotus had Johanna.
Johanna.
So, have you guys played Leoric yet, or to any extent enough to judge maybe a talent tree? What do you guys think? If Leoric is played at all, what kind of stuff is going to get picked, or how do you think the hero will be played?
Sustain.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
the regen
it's
stuff.
Double warrior comp, just like an unkillable, like just a constant type fight type deal where you have like the standard double warrior stuff like we see right now with like KT. Just you live. You have someone there to peel for you. You have someone there to zone, and then KT just kind of runs free. I feel like he's just gonna fit into those comps.
I liked what Calf was doing with the level 4 upgrade. Kind of like how Jake was describing it. As long as your body doesn't get hit, you reduce the cooldown to 4 seconds. I thought it was by 4.
No.
So you can basically go in with Ghost,
Oh.
throw your abilities down, and then like 2 seconds later, you pretty much have your Ghost to get out.
Yeah, it's like having an Eldurance Might or something, right? It's an engage and then a disengage, and that makes Leoric really scary for approaching. And just props to Caffeine for like really figuring that hero out like immediately. Like he knew what he wanted to do going into that game. Like he knew exactly how he wanted to play Leoric, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like,
it's a force.
He picked the talent he wanted and he used it right. Props. I mean,
I'm just saying it's a brand new hero. Like,
duke it out. Duke it out.
Mad props to Zuna for like randomly picking Chain Bomb that one day and like blowing people up. Like,
not the shots fired, but to contrast, Kiefer's played Leoric and he just died. I saw nothing cool. It was not exciting. I was bored. I saw Caffeine play, and it was very fun to watch.
Caffeine can play any hero. Caffeine can play any hero, and it's fun to watch because he's good at the game.
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying the hero here had just been released, and he showed off cool things right out the gates.
There's a lot of gates in this game. There's 3 lanes, and each lane has 2 gates.
That
means that there's like 6 gates?
Math.
Right out the gates, man.
Caster math.
Right out the gates.
Any new hero, though, like...
So let's go to the next discussion.
We're finishing this.
I'm just like... Congrats, Caffeine, best warrior in North America. You took a brand new hero, and you played him like kind of how he should probably be played.
It was fun, man.
Whoa!
Jake, Jake, are you gonna just let Jared do that to you? Is that it?
I love Caff, but he's like really good at the game. I'm just confused by the statement. You played him well.
I'm just saying. Thanks for showing me some cool stuff. And
Hey, Jake, is it because you didn't compliment someone on Tempo Storm? What's the issue?
Yeah, I think that might be the issue, man. Why didn't Tempo Storm do that?
I don't know. I think if we're gonna bring out cool stuff like Caffeine-bodied solo Otis on Murky. That's cool. Thank you, Caff, for showing cool stuff then.
Okay.
Yeah, you did that during the July Open. It was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a close game at all either.
Shifts in the meta from the July NA Open.
Butcher, kind of. Seeing the
support.
Butcher combos were fun. Oh yeah, and then a lot more of the support lockouts
with mules too.
Okay, actually, I'm glad we brought this up because we didn't talk about it earlier. Cognitive drafted so smart day 2 versus Complexity. They did a thing where Complexity banned out Uther, I believe. And Cognitive's response when they were doing a blow-up style composition was, even though they were first pick, which means after the second man phase, they would not get the option at their support. They banned out Rhaegar. Doing that forced them onto Lily. But since they were running a super aggressive style composition, letting them have mouth, like having the option between like them having mouth and Rhaegar, clearly you want them on mouth because they're going blow up. You don't want them to have the Rhaegar with the super burst healing. So they're forcing themselves onto Lily, which initially people were like, this is dumb. Why did they ban themselves into Lily? But it was so smart from Cognitive, and they bodied them those games because of how they drafted that. It's one of the smartest things I've seen in drafting in a while. Yeah. Just like reactionary in like the middle, like just in the middle of a tournament. It was so cool to see.
I'm glad we talked about it in between those games too, because like they did it again and it worked out very well as well. So we were able to like mention it a bit more in the drafts. But yeah, kudos to those guys for thinking like what should be a bad situation and like taking the best of it.
They made it work.
Force also some badness onto the enemy team. Kind of cool.
It's actually really cool that we're seeing a lot of Lily play, and I hate Lily, but the fact that like people are able to use it, and also like it seems like they're like getting forced into the situation, but then you notice that they like kind of take away a lot of the hard crowd controls from the enemy team, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, they've got Lily, but there's no stuns on the enemy team except for maybe that Uther who has to get through the entire enemy team to stop the jugs. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's really smart that I'm seeing like these Lily come in and like deny the enemy team like Rhaegar's.
They were just owning it. They're like, yeah, we know we're probably going to be working with Lily, so we'll just get good at it. And probably like one of the top 3 plays from the tournament is when Butcher ran into the temple in the bottom
temple.
and they had Lily over the wall to like where she was completely safe, still able to heal Butcher, and they completely baited. I think it was versus Complexity. That was ridiculous. That was
bottom
easily
temple.
top
That was
three. Like that was
Such
a great
good
play.
positioning.
so cool. That was actually I got very excited about it. But let's talk about day one cog triple melee assassin. That was the complete opposite of good.
It wasn't. Yeah, well.
Another good reactionary draft, by the way, from Complexity. Like, the moment I saw the Gazelle, I was like, oh, that was really smart. Like, there's two different events where someone had, like, a reactionary draft that was, like, that was golden. You did really well. That Gazelle made so much sense.
But on the surface is like, ugh.
Who was playing Gaz?
I don't remember.
Was it Trummel? Would that be Trummel?
I was going to say, I think it was Trummel.
Yeah.
If it was Trummel, kudos to him. I mean, the positions for the Grav Bomb plus...
The Gravel Hydralin Blasts? Oh
yeah, they were,
my god.
They were also running,
decimation.
They were running Johanna with it as well, so like the setups pretty much every time were on point. So like set up for the bomb, and like they hit 3+ members every single time. And it was the exact counter they needed, and it worked.
Hans.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Foxshire. We're so bad at remembering everyone's names.
They all turn into a blur after like one game. It's just like, huh?
Yeah, Trummel would be on Falstad then. That makes sense.
Didn't he also have the master skin for Gazlo too?
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
dedication.
Yeah.
Well, that's with the Blizzard accounts where all skins are.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Wrecked.
Sorry, Gilly.
That's okay.
Man, Hans. So those are two, like, I think it was against Cog versus Complexity. There was like those two little situations where it was like you let Hans get Kael'thas, and then there was that other game where Complexity let Glaurung get Zeratul, and it was just like that was the biggest mistake I think I've seen that entire.
What did they ban instead? Was it Zagara?
I think it was on Battlefield of Eternity. They banned out Zagara.
Yeah,
but is that ever? I mean, Zagara's great on that map. Let's face it.
That's exactly what I asked while they were drafting.
The Hydras.
Are you really so scared of that hero that you want to deal with Zeratul? Okay,
so let's just quickly confirm.
Zeratul.
Why is Zagara so good on that map? Vision, sure, that's the base, but you just throw Hydras and Roaches at the Immortal and walk away, and they bully people away from your Immortal. Like her hero in general is just phenomenal on that map, but to give Glaurung Zeratul,
I think it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, you said it wasn't the worst thing. I still think it's better to, and you guys did this exact same thing. Like you were in that situation, you guys grabbed Zeratul, I think, but
Zeratul.
It wasn't like so bad that you were like, no, Zeratul's.
It's definitely Zeratul's weakest map by.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
and it's Zagara's best map by a large margin. So
yeah.
I can understand it. I don't know if I agree with it.
Swapping, it's not quite at that level.
I'm almost okay with it until I can think about a Zeratul like Glaurung. He's a really good Zeratul.
You know, it's getting really funny though, because like anytime you see a team and you're like, oh yeah, they banned out Zeratul, they don't want X on member Y team to get Zeratul because their Zeratul's really good. It's gotten to the point where I think like it's just Zeratuls are good. It's like you don't want to let Zuna have Zeratul on this team. You don't want to let this person have this. It's like even in EU it happens too.
Yeah, ADRD.
Think about it. There's not a single team you can really think about where it's like you don't want to have somebody on this Zeratul for what X team.
Who is it on Goon Squad that plays their Zeratul? He's really bad at it.
Oh really?
No, that was a different team.
That's full Play-Doh.
Yeah. Who is it?
Is it Goku?
Goku's their melee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember who it is. Not like this is like more like a calling someone out, but like it's just there are people like you'll see teams who are first pick, and I believe it is Goon Squad that does it. That they ban out Zeratul against themselves, even though they're first pick, because they know they're not that good at it. Zeratul is really hard to play. The initial combo where you blink in, you do the burst, you blink out. That is simple. That's not it does require mechanics against it, but Void Prison is very hard to use.
I'm the worst Void Prison in the world.
It is very hard to use, and they're.
He's a high skill hero, that's for sure.
So there are situations where that has happened, like they ban out versus themselves, which is fine. You're playing around your own composition, and they got what they wanted. Like you saw how good they were with other heroes. Like their Zagara is insane. They played Zagara tasks like every game, and it was like, whoa, you guys know how to push really well, and but they can't play Zeratul, and maybe eventually. But it's hard to play. It's hard to practice Zeratul right now because he's perma banned. Like, how do you practice Zeratul? It's the difference between practicing Zeratul, like in scrims, he's perma banned, right? No one lets anyone get Zeratul because it's not real practice. Because that won't happen in tournaments. But if you go into Zeratul, like in Hero League, like I see Jake win games in Zeratul with Hero League. Like, that's not real practice, right? Like, it's just the easiest VPs to hit in the world.
Thanks, Jared.
I love your smile. So it's like, how do you practice Zeratul right now?
I love your smile too, baby. Let's talk.
Actually, no, you know what? We're talking about bans.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take us. So it's not really a discussion. It's more just Team League's getting bans. Will Team League be played?
I think Team League will only get really tons of play if they put an incentive for it.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the season, top 10 teams get to fight a giant battle brawl. Everybody gets money if you win.
So you get, like, a special mount? Is that what it takes? Or is a special portrait enough?
I would think the portrait would be enough.
At least from EU's perspective, what I was told from EU players is Team League's actually, like, not terrible practice there. Like, good teams queue up consistently and stuff, and, like, you can get practice in Team League. So the bans hitting Team League is actually a good thing for that region. In NA, not so much.
Do you well, let's hold on. Do you think that this will kind of ease more teams into the competitive scene, as a result, grow the scene and bring more talent in?
Not until we get Grandmaster.
the heads up. Just the nope. I'm not convinced.
As far as I'm aware, Grandmaster League's only going to be for Hero League, right? Is there going to be a Team League Grandmaster League?
I would imagine so.
It should be.
Team League is actually going to be basically the way it's going to work. They released an article a while ago with Grandmaster. There's the two separate ones and.
Oh, okay. Then there's one.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hello? So, I feel like it would be just so I was just thinking about this because remember in World of Warcraft when you would be like top ranked and didn't you get like special armor or something like that? How cool would it be if you got like if you were one of the top ranked teams, you got like a special skin and you could only have that skin for like one hero. It doesn't even matter if it's like whatever. But you get like one skin for a hero and you only keep it as long as you're top of that or a mount. That would be awesome. You can only keep it as long as you're top of it.
That's so BM, because in WoW, you earn that mount and you have it.
Forever.
You got that sweet dragon?
Like
that's your dragon.
Card back.
Yeah. But they're like specific seasons. Like, I am the Season 4 Grandmaster player, therefore I have this mount. And they're different a little bit each season. So that's like Flare. It's like, well, I'm old school. I was Season 1. Get on my level. And that's something that's cool that you can't get later.
It depends on how often the seasons reset. If it's like something that they're shooting to do once a month, like having them come up with a separate mount for the winners of those seasons every month is a lot of work for them.
Let's make that a talking point. How often do you think season should be for this?
2 months.
2 months?
I was gonna say 4 times a year. So
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
3 months I think sounds good.
Is there any like possibility of somehow incorporating it into like seeding or something so that they could get more people in there?
They did that for Hearthstone.
If it was a 1v1 game, yes.
Yeah.
This is a 5v5 game. That doesn't make sense.
Seeding for you're talking for tournaments?
Like tournaments.
Right? Yeah.
So wait, why doesn't that?
Players will have individual seeding. They won't have a consistent team throughout the season.
But you're in a team league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their MMR and their actual award and everything is still seeded. Even a team, they're
on the same team.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What? Hello?
No, I think Jake is right though. Like it does bring up a little bit of it brings up a difficulty in trying to get all those ratings to be together for like the team all at once. Like you can try and count it as one entity, but you have 2 subs, and then I don't know. I feel like it's also harder to actually.
It's not. I don't think it's something that should solely seed or provide points for a tournament, but like leaving it as an option. Like for example, if they were to make it so that August was like partial, like some small amount of points were given to top team league as long as it matched the team that was going into the tournament. Why not?
Yeah.
Like that's a decent incentive. That's not like overbearing if you don't play it, but it's a nice thing to get people to play it more.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess, or Blizzard will have to figure it out. And then we'll yell at them when they mess up figuring it out. So that will happen. Shots.
Indeed. Don't make that face. So on that note, Gilly,
Good word.
Yeah.
talk about your experience.
Well, it was amazing. It was terrifying as well. I was very nervous. You guys know how nervous I was. But I'm very proud that I feel like I improved throughout, like from starting on my first game on Saturday and moving throughout. There's definitely a lot of things I still have to work on. But I'm at least very proud of myself that I was able to just get up there and work on things throughout and get better. And it was really fun. It was definitely very interesting and much more different than casting at home from my computer.
So from what you had seen of June Open, like what were your expectations going into it, and then like what did you find like when you got there? You're like, wow, that's 100% 180 from what I expected that to be.
Like with filling, I guess I never really understood how you guys knew to go to something if you guys were just like thinking of it. And it feels like it's a lot more reactive, like they'll just give you something generally. Like we'll be talking and then they'll say, okay, we're gonna go to this player card while we figure something out or whatever. And I always thought maybe you guys would just pick whatever you wanted to talk about and then they would just like bring something up. But it was more like a mix of that. Yeah.
If they just did what I said, oh my goodness, it'd be so much easier.
It was like a mix though, because sometimes you got to decide, right?
Yeah, for like
at least
the
the idea was that we were
going
gonna. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
but there was also, and I think actually, Gilly, you did a really good save there. Was you were like, let's go to the Zeratul card, and then they brought up Tassadar, and it's like, well, we're gonna talk about his Protoss brother.
That was my first game too. So not only that, my first game I had that happen, but then we had a technical problem, and I had to fill. And so I'm very glad at least that I got to see you guys try to fill for like 15 minutes.
Oh God, we got slaughtered. First game is like, yeah, they haven't even started picking the maps yet. It's like, what? Like that takes like 10 minutes, and it's just like we're on air. Admins didn't even contact the teams yet. It's just like,
rip.
This is gonna be a long day.
There are a lot of fun things like that.
Oh yeah. Also, we have to talk about the lightning that hit.
The lightning.
Like,
oh my God!
10 minutes before the show went live.
That was terrifying.
The minute that happened and monitors went down, like the monitors behind us went down, I was like, this is gonna be a rough day.
So let me just pull this up so I can show everyone the stage. Let me just, getting there.
Up.
And
right. So while you go, Gilly, I think you did an amazing.
Oh God.
That's not the stage. But yes, Gilly did a very good job.
Yeah, you kicked ass. You kicked ass. But
of course,
so you can see the stage here, and you can see my mouse. These are all like individual light panels. All this can be customized. It has its own control panel for color. So in theory, they could make all these strips like blue and then yellow, then green, whatever they want to do. It's all this big fancy thing. Lightning hit like within a mile of the studio, and it doesn't rain in SoCal to begin with, so it was thunderstorming. That's already odd. And these panels, Kubi and I were out there. I don't know if you were out there too, Gilly. We were doing makeup. And, like, they all started flickering, like, green and pink and red. And we're just like, what is happening? 6 minutes was on the clock. There was a 6-minute timer here for the broadcast.
Yeah.
So I was right next to the observer monitors when it happened. And there's, like, this huge crack. And then one of them, Zoid, was yours, right? You just could not get the monitor to come back on or something?
Yeah. No, it was the feed, the main feed for the stream. But yeah, one of them went out, and then our whole area had issues all weekend where we were just losing internet. And, like,
yeah,
it was just
the reason we didn't have a lot of Skype interviews in the first day was because the ability to do the interviews was affected by the lightning.
Yeah.
So what we learned was ESL studios in North America need to buy surge protectors.
Apparently, I do too. I bought one today.
So that made.
I'm gonna put out my PSA real quick because I think I also was teaching Jake about this. If you have one of those strips where it's got like the 6 plugs or whatever, that doesn't mean it's a surge protector. You have to actually make sure it says surge protector and there's a surge rating on it, and there will also be a reset button. But just because it's got an on-off switch and there's a huge strip of like outlets, that doesn't mean it's a surge protector and it'll save you from a storm. Just a PSA from your local engineer.
Hey, I think mine
Papa
said-
Sham. Thanks, Papa Sham.
That's Game Boys.
So, all right, where were we?
Cats.
Oh, I was asking like expectations of what was
Oh yeah,
different.
going to the event
Problem. So you were saying
So-
filling? Yeah, filling that's fun when it happens.
Yeah. Other than that, I was really trying to go with like an open mind, and especially, I think one thing that I was expecting was rehearsals to be a bit more like structured, not necessarily like what we were doing, but like what we were going to be talking about. Because for me, it was really hard to try to learn what was happening, but then kind of like fill about random stuff. But I think that's just my personal.
But can
way
you
of
elaborate? Because I'm
learning.
confused.
So like, we would be practicing, going through the before a game, for instance.
Okay. So like
And then-
we're talking about the bracket, talking about
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah, and then we would get like, we'd be like, oh, we're gonna talk about, who knows? We don't know when teams are gonna pop up, and then like the scorecard would pop up, and it's like 2 random teams, and then we go into a draft, and it'd be like other random teams, and it was like I found it very hard to like fill, and I thought it was because I was like sucking, but it was really just because it wasn't the real stuff that we were actually gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize
so
that.
basically, during the production rehearsal on Friday, every single graphic we had would be like Temple Storm versus Stellar Lotus, and it's like Cloud9 versus 2Arc on like the next slide, and then it's like they pull up a different thing, and at one point it has like 6 different team names on the screen. It was just like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
And so, like, it's fine now that I realize that, but at the time I was like, oh, I'm having such a horrible time figuring out, and it's me, and then I realized that once we know who we're going to be talking about, then it's a whole different ballgame. It's much easier.
Yeah, I kind of just take the approach of just like making fun of production the entire time for putting the wrong stuff up. And once you do that, it's just like, okay. It's like, well, we should put the right graphics up during rehearsal. It's like, yeah, I'll stop making fun of you.
Just blame the stage manager and you're good. Like, that's it.
I mean, you guys were tremendous help, so thank you very much,
Yeah, it was
because
fun.
you definitely helped me catch up to speed, and were very confident in me even when I was like, what is happening? There's
Oh, we knew you'd
different
do
cameras.
fine.
We're a team. Jared helps Kubi puke when he's not feeling well. Like,
He's got my back.
He does.
Also explain drafts to him because.
oh god, you are.
Is there a draft in here?
Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Wow. It was a great event. My favorite part was when Kubi bought everyone Del Taco the final night we were there.
Oh, when he lost $20 on a bet and Jared paid for Del Taco for everyone.
That face.
Not a single map.
Can you elaborate on this bet?
Kubi.
Kubi.
No.
Kubi, the people want to hear. You can't leave
You
him
made
hanging.
me. You
Okay.
made me
All right,
explain
fine.
the bet last time on show.
Fine. Yeah. Wait. All right, we'll go back to that. All right, so the original bet during the June Open, Jared, was it you that approached me, or did I approach you with the bet?
Jared
Jared
approached.
Jared approached me. He's like, Temple Storm's not going to drop a map the entire tournament. I was like, okay, I'll take that bet.
Battleground?
No, he said map. So I'm quoting Jared directly, so get wrecked. So then he approaches, actually he tweeted at me, he's like, same bet this time, and I was still thinking about it. And I think it was like Thursday or Friday, we were at rehearsals, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'll give me till midnight, I'll make a decision then. So midnight rolls around, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take it. And yeah, I lost because Temple Storm didn't drop any battlegrounds, and then Jared humiliated me.
Yeah, there was a great tweet. That was sent out. Raynad retweeted it.
So 80,000 people saw it. No, that's fine.
Hey, Raynad acknowledged you for once.
Yeah. And then we had great Del Taco. Gilly got nachos. Jake got a
I did.
quesadilla.
Everybody
awesome.
died?
Yeah. No, I got
Jake's shake. Jake got about half of a shake.
Jake's
Oh, he
shake.
spilled it.
That knocked it over. And I also put 3 packs of Inferno sauce in my burrito.
Which was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Why do you people see? Like, I'm terrified. Maybe because I have like stomach issues, so I'm just already terrified. If I'm going anywhere near a flight, I'm just like, I am eating nothing but bread and water for the next 24 hours.
I learned that lesson. With
The same
In
thing
and Out.
with, like,
No,
The people on the airplane hated me. I know that.
Caffeine.
They hated me.
If I'm doing anything, I'm like, I'm not drinking. I'm not eating terrible foods because I know better.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Y'all,
That's game. You're stuck here.
So
I actually, for all of like the stomach issues from nerves I had, where my stomach just hurt, Del Taco was completely fine for me.
somehow.
Del Taco is always fun.
Somehow. Let's see. Another part we had. Miwa was also added as a second observer, so I know he's in the chat. So shout outs to Miwa. Did a good job.
He's a huge troll.
He's
He
a
is.
huge troll.
I want to mod him just because he helped, but I'm so afraid to mod him.
Yeah, he's definitely he's a gigantic. He didn't give me a single handshake or fist bump the entire weekend.
He fist bumped me once.
I'd put my hand out and you're just like, pfft. I'm like, I got to deal with this constantly. I go backstage like between games or something like that. He's just like doesn't give me any bumps or anything. I'm just the worst. How do I deal?
It's a great question, Coops.
Can't deal.
I want a claw machine too.
Shout out
That
to
was
Jester
awesome.
too.
Oh yeah.
Why?
guys did a really good broadcast.
He worked hard.
Dude,
a
what is
good
that?
cast.
What are you doing right now?
I don't know what's happening.
Theodore the donkey.
Jared and Jester are just like the entire weekend they butt heads like constantly, and it is like the most trolly relationship of any two people I know. So he's just he's trying to start trash right now, and he's Jester's not even here to defend himself. That's the kind of person that Jared is.
Have we not known this? Is this news?
Oh yeah, you're
We're
right.
73
You're right.
episodes in,
You're
bro.
right. You're right.
We're 73 episodes in. Jared will just like shots at anybody who doesn't matter if they're here or not, if they're gonna ever defend themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
He'll take on the mighty, he'll take on the small.
So
Jared doesn't care.
We've talked about the NA Open. We've talked about the Europe Road to BlizzCon. We've talked a little bit about MVP Black. The only thing we didn't talk about was I'm blanking. WCA Europe.
Oh, did we talk about MVP Black just like exploits aside, like their team play versus?
Oh no, we didn't. Triple Warrior.
Yeah,
Triple Warrior.
they were running a lot of other cool stuff like Hammer and Double Warrior with Hammer, like Protect the Hammer comps.
Their drafts are way different. And
Yep.
that's kind of why I started. He's got his
I don't know
donkey.
why does this pull out the donkey time? I don't.
Oh,
Because Theodore's in chat.
Pull out the donkey time. Raising.
He was just like, oh, this topic, right? Yeah. This, he just grabs it.
on our next show, we're gonna go more deep into it though.
Okay. Because they did do a lot of interesting things, and like we've kind of been a little bit dismissive of this kind of thing.
Right.
Well, like, oh, it's China. They just kind of do their thing. But this is like the first time we've had like that semi cross regional, and I don't follow EU super closely, so I'm not sure where people would rank Virtus Pro. Kev, maybe.
Oh,
They're top 8,
The top eight. That's fair to say.
but
Top
that's
eight-ish,
about
yeah.
it though. Like
But
they're top 8.
so I mean, the fact that like the top Korean team was it's like absolutely dumpstered them.
Okay, what would you say if
That's
PPST
surprising.
got dumpstered by MVP Black?
That's pretty much this situation.
Okay, if that is a fair comparison.
Yeah.
then-
Whoa, let's hold this train. All right, so we had an event that was in IEM Shenzhen, which is, a little bit more closer to their time
China.
zone.
China.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's closer to all the people who were playing in the event's time zone. So
Are you leading in the Johns for other people?
He's leading into it.
I'm leading into Johns.
You're pre-Johnsing.
It's
No,
true.
it's post Johns. It's post Johns.
It's post-Johns.
Pre-post
It's true,
Johns?
Pre-post Johns? It's true to, you go into an event, something like that, you have to fly all the way over there, get used to a different time zone, and then play a couple of games. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw
Well,
that.
they're a Russian team, right? How many hours do they have to travel to get to? I don't know.
Oh no, depends on what side of Russia they're on. It's a big
Yeah,
pretty big
well, I can
country.
guarantee you it's probably Eastern. Okay, so they're in Hong Kong for the event, so
I don't know. Seems pretty.
that's a hike.
Well,
That's definitely a hike.
regardless, what we're going to do, I think I started talking about this. I don't remember if I actually did talk about it. Over the next month, for the month of August, we're going to really start to highlight the teams on MGA. So that means our next show, we'll be talking heavily about MVP Black and E-Star. So we're going to talk a lot about their drafts, the norms, a little bit more about those regions to build some more background on those teams for our viewers. And honestly, that's, I mean, I'll be honest, I've watched their games, but I wouldn't say I'm confident in like calling their drafts right now. And I want to fix that. Huh?
Hey, E-Star.
I know some good guests we could bring on for that. That follow Korea and China Hard.
We could have JC on.
Yeah,
Again.
we could. Thanks. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey,
So what are your thoughts on
Hey.
them? You've cast them a lot more. Well, we've never cast them, actually.
MVP Black, I don't believe has been in Storm League, but the Triple Warrior didn't surprise me. The only thing that surprised me was the Battleground that they were on, because every time I've seen Triple Warrior has been Haunted Mines, which is hugely picked, at least in Storm League. So that's one thing that's kind of crazy, is that you could maybe see if it's even allowed. I don't even know if it's allowed or if it's being replaced by Battlefield.
For MSI, I think it's allowed. I think every map's allowed.
It's possible that it could get picked by them then. But it's always, like, a lot of the time, Season 1 was really Illidan, Zeratul, Tastar heavy, a lot of focus on Brightwing and Tyrael. With the latest patches, it's kind of linked up a little bit more, like meta-wise, but really a lot of focus on Zagara still, a lot of Tyrael love, and then a lot of love on multiple warriors, like Tyrael, Arthas.
Where do you expect Leoric to fit in Asia? Because that's going to be a big deal. If he's super popular, they like their warriors.
They do.
If that's going to be a big deal going into PAX.
I mean, I think it's definitely a possibility that they'll be using him in a double warrior. Maybe even if they run some more triple warriors. Because I mean, we already saw it from MVP, but like they've also used double warriors that we don't even like run a lot. Like Tyrael Arthas is still very much a thing. I saw them use ETC Anubarak, and it was devastating. Because it was like you go in and like face mount back, and then from there it was so many stuns.
They run a lot of Sonya too.
They are
yeah, just a lot of warriors.
Yeah, just like their synergy in terms of like linking stuns together is top notch. So it seems like no matter what combination they run, is just like stun, and then they know they
mechanically
never
Asia's really, really good.
And E-Star is the best, hands down.
Yeah.
They are super just strong, solid play too. Like they don't really do a lot of like gimmicky stuff. Like there's some teams in the Storm League who do like to do that. But one thing that I think is really cool in casting them is they're a lot more freeform with their talents and really trying to link them up together. Like that's where I really started. That's where I first saw the Protection and Death, that Tyrael talent pickup with Sanctification. So you see them like experiment more with the talents.
That's cool.
That's what I would say. Yeah, they've actually been a blast to get to cast, because they really make you think like, okay, why are they going for this? This is the first place I saw Mental Acuity really picked up a ton, and it's they put out some cool stuff.
Why does Europe? This is for Kev too, because Kev watches Europe more than I do.
Yeah.
Why does Europe and Asia still think Brightwing is a decent hero?
Dumb.
Thanks, Jared.
That's the America opinion. We got that in.
That's actually I didn't get to watch ESLEU yesterday. I've been like super busy at work, and I was trying to catch up on WCA. But even then, I don't think she was run.
They're learning.
Run that much today.
Brightwing more than NA, because NA it's a 0% pick.
She's 0%.
So Brightwing gets picked up. Like, every time I've seen Brightwing picked in EU, the casters freak out like, "What the hell's going on?" It's not like a
it's not acceptable.
Oh, Europe doesn't. Bakery's coming in saying Brightwing's dead. All right, but I definitely still see her running in Asia.
No, I don't ever see.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird things going on. Team Liquid went Illidan, Abathur, Vikings on like what? Hello?
Yeah, that was. Oh God, yeah.
Hello?
Let's talk about that.
World?
Why did that work at DreamHack?
Because everyone else is really bad.
Oh my God, that should not be okay to work. That should not work.
It's just like,
I don't know, man. Vortex Vikings, like
Vikings is still booty, man.
You know what?
No, Kevin. Don't try and defend this one. back out, man. Save your
I'm ready.
dignity.
I'm ready.
I just feel like they raised the skill cap ridiculously on Vikings.
So only Idra, now's your time. Only StarCraft players can play Vikings.
Before, I feel like Vikings were really... It was a lot easier to, like, kind of work with them, and they kind of forgave on a lot of mistakes. But if you have somebody like Vortex who's behind the Vikings... I mean, Vortex, pretty good StarCraft 2 player, if we have to all say.
Huh.
You have somebody who's actually able to control the Vikings and actually able to, like, make sure they don't die.
Kev, he's hella D's, right? He's real good.
He's a good Vikings player. They ran him twice. They don't, and you know, it was against an actual someone.
But to pair Abathur with Vikings,
I was about to say, like,
that's the
weird.
thing. Eric with Abathur hat is unbeatable. Get out.
I'm trying to remember.
Really, you put it on Zaylog, Jake. Like,
Oh
what's the
god.
rest of the composition?
I told you what it was. It was Illidan Abathur Vikings.
That's right. No, I'm Illidan, Abathur, Vikings, and
What?
Rhaegar.
Why does the other two picks matter?
Because I'm curious what.
It was Illidan Abathur Vikings. Kev.
Because Illidan and Abathur. What are the other two picks, though? I'm sorry, are you saying that only 3 heroes matter in a composition?
I'm saying with those 3 heroes, they have no damage. How do you win a fight?
I don't know. Illidan and Abathur have a pretty good amount of damage you can unleash.
Kevin, I know you're like trying to play like a weird devil's advocate here.
Got really quiet, guys.
Hello?
Where's Jake?
Can't handle the silence here.
Jake died.
That actually scares me.
Jake died.
Just gonna say, Illidan and Abathur are a ridiculous amount of damage. Vikings do okay damage. Depends on who.
The moment someone says Vikings do okay damage, conversation ends. Close the show. They don't do Kev.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like chain of damage, bruh. I'm saying it's like it's okay damage. They do damage.
Yeah, you know who does okay damage? Chen.
Sonya.
Well, Sonya does good damage. In comparison, that'd be like saying, man, I got okayed by Chen.
All right, last hero. We're gonna talk about. We talked about it a little bit last week. Updated opinions on Zebo. Any changes?
He works in the way EU's playing right now. EU did a complete 180, right? Like NA used to be the pushy, split pushy type style region. EU used to be the hyper aggressive. They used to run Stitches to Ronda. He used to use float.
What is it? IDK Kev? That's an emoticon? Oh wow, that's perfect.
No, it's okay, Jared. You weren't talking.
Sorry. I got distracted. I was silent.
It's just in a flip, right? NA is more aggression style, like besides Tempo Storm, everyone's running the Butcher Tyrande compositions and super blow up style heavies, where EU has kind of swapped to more of a push style. We're seeing a lot of Nazeebo Zagara, where it's very push oriented, very poke oriented. That's where it works. That's why Nazeebo doesn't really currently work in the meta in NA, just because we're not push focused. Which is weird to see that EU's going push focused after Promote gets nerfed. That blows my mind. But I can see kind of why they do it in EU. I don't necessarily agree with it, but we're not in that meta. So until we experience that, like until you play against it, with how they build their comps, Zagara, Nazeebo, and stuff, I can see why they do it. Like EU's a lot of running right now. There's very few forced engagements. It's always really strong rotations. And,
small engagements everywhere.
Small engagements, just little skirmishes, but it's all about the rotations right now and pushing.
It's a lot of like. It's kind of like the old Sylvanas. You leave Sylvanas alone in a lane, and all of a sudden your fort is gone. As soon as Nazeebo turns 10, Gargantuan plus like the spiders and frogs and everything, like especially with the added spiders and then Gidbin, it's actually a lot of damage. You can take out a fort really quickly.
It's guaranteed damage.
Really quickly. I've been actually using it in Hero League quite a bit, but it also just works competitively too. Like you can take down a fort that's just free. If the enemy team is somewhere else and you're in a Nazeebo, and Gargantuan's got a really low cooldown. Like I don't think anybody really thinks about it. Actually, making it work in terms of a team fight is like trying to herd cats. It's trying to herd cats.
Hey man, I can do it.
This
so I heard.
comment in chat is priceless.
What?
The sitcom
Which one?
Oh, Jake looks like one of those sitcoms where a person gets knocked unconscious right before a big event, and their friends need to use them as a human puppet.
All right.
So they
first
don't
off,
lose face.
That's Weekend at Bernie's. It's not a sitcom. It's Weekend at Bernie's. It's a movie.
It's like so
Okay, they said
specific.
knocked unconscious, not dead, Kev.
Whatever. That's fine.
Hello?
Bye, Jake. Weekend at Jake's.
I think it's
I think it's about time.
time for those shout-outs. Starting with you, Theodore.
No.
He thought about it. He's like, I don't know how to do Theodore voice, and then he's like, abandoned.
It's okay. It's okay, so just do your Australian accent.
No.
Oh, I missed those days.
Those were bad. Shout out to Temple Storm and all our sponsors, G2A, Namecheap, Funk, and Twitch. They make the house and everything we do possible. We recently won the July Open. We're playing in our ESL match tomorrow versus Goon Squad. Make sure you cheer us on then. We also play this weekend in the MSI. I don't know if it's announced. I'm going to go ahead and say it. We are just given an invite to top 8, so we don't play the first day. We're seeded directly into top 8 to play. So you won't see us play the first day. The qualifiers will seed into that top 8 for the second day of play. So we'll be playing that day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
And that's going to be really fun. It's a really big event. We hope to qualify because that's the first real international where all the regions will be there. Like we've talked about, E-Star, MVP Black, Team Liquid, they're all going to be there. So we're really hoping to qualify for that. This weekend at Road to BlizzCon July, we had a documentary. The reason I wasn't on the last episode, we had a little documentary film crew in our house making just like a really cool video about us. That's the timestamp to it. I thought it was really cool and hope you guys liked it.
Wait. Are you Zoya from the Heroes doc?
Stop.
Stop.
There's also, Soldier released yesterday a video breaking down experience, the importance of it, and how to use it to your benefit as well as deny your opponent experience. Make sure you check that out. And
This guy.
yeah, that's it for now. Oh, this weekend, Kevin and I will be casting Road to BlizzCon EU, the very first one. We're one of 4 English streams, which is really awesome. Make sure you come by and check us out, listen to the cast, and it's going to be fun casting EU for the first time. I'm really hyped about it. That's it for my shots.
I will show you the way.
Anything in the dumpster today?
Yeah, I put a lot of things in the dumpster today.
Just as during your shout-outs, we're going to put Theodore in there or anything?
Who goes in the dumpster specifically? Let's put Kubi in the dumpster.
Oh,
he doesn't
cool.
know how to valuably spend his $20.
Wow.
All right, Kubi, you're in the dumpster. Shout-outs.
Oh, I have to do the shout-outs from the dumpster.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That sounds terrible.
Can you give us a little bit of an echo or something? Can you put the reverb?
Well, if Jake's soundboard didn't break,
Let's not talk about that because it makes me sad. I just spent hundreds of dollars and it broke after one day.
rip boys. Let's see. Yeah. So if you guys didn't get to check out the July Open, I believe that the Blizz Heroes YouTube account was able to put all those VODs up, and Gilly was nice enough to do some of the voiceovers for the recap video. And I'm gonna pull Jared. Check that out right there. So a lot of good highlights in there. I thought she did a fantastic job with that. What is coming up? Town Hall Invitational will be next Monday and Wednesday. I believe we have the threads up, Jake. At least the Team Liquid thread is up.
Yeah, so just
Might make a Reddit thread a little bit closer to the time in which the event is happening. But
yeah, for the MP3 listeners, the bracket is at challonge.com, CHALLONGE.com/TH Invitational. So Town Hall Invitational. The bracket is there. We have not released it to the public until right now. So, bam, there it is. And there is a thread on teamliquid.net that hears us from forums with the schedule and all the information, the pricing, the breakdown. It's all there.
So that means 1, no Town Hall next Wednesday.
Yes.
2, Monday's events, we're going to cast the round of 8. It will be Jake and I on stream A. We haven't just figured it out. And then Jared and Kev will be on stream B. We're going to be casting the round of 8 simultaneously, just for time's sake, because scheduling-wise, it's kind of impossible to run tournaments as it is on the weekends. So we've decided to put it on the weekdays so that we can get through it. And then Wednesday, we're going to cast the round of 4 and grand finals. Grand finals, all 4 of us will be casting it together at once. Yep. So that should be fun.
It's gonna be a
awesome.
It's gonna be a 4-man cast. Like, we've never done that.
Nobody's ever done it. It's crazy, Doc.
Wait,
Craziness.
that's
Yes.
real?
You didn't know that? You didn't?
Yeah, we're doing that.
We committed to that, bro.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were joking.
Best
No,
of
no.
5 finals,
Idea.
quadcast.
That's happening.
Okay.
Quadcast.
If that's what you guys want.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're going in there.
I'm in. I thought we were joking when we said
No.
that.
That's the thing. So we got the bracket up, the schedule. We're gonna start at 8 p.m. those evenings on both. Actually, we haven't decided exactly which streams. I guess will be. Well, I guess it'll probably be Jared's. I don't know. Is that it? Did we decide that? Okay.
Jared's I would assume.
Yeah, it's already
okay.
on the thing.
Anything else? I think that might be it for that. I don't believe I'm going to be casting anything this weekend. I'm actually going to go on vacation for once. That'd be nice.
Congrats.
And I think that's it for me.
Kevo.
So my first shout out is going to be to all my friends and family who I'm not going to see throughout the month of August because
I know
I'm trying to cast absolutely every single weekend, every single chance I can get. So it's going to be, if I can, all the BlizzCon EU opens and all the NA opens and everything else in between. So I already told my parents, even though my birthday's next month, I'm not seeing you two probably at least till September. And I'm moving next weekend too, so it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. But
Damn.
of course, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time for me. But other than that, just check out my YouTube. So that's youtube.com/sham2. I put up a video of Hero League Rank 1, and I'm going to start doing a couple more of those. Kind of just talk about like how I play, doing a draft, and then into the actual game itself. And I think that's about it. Shout outs to everybody who casted this weekend because y'all did a great job. Shout outs to everything else. I don't know. Freaking love this game. Let's go.
I know Kubi didn't get a chance, but Kev, now's your chance to put something in the dumpster.
I'm going to put Zoe in the dumpster.
Kubi?
Because...
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Because, I don't know. Team Liquid's going to dumpster freaking Tempo Storm at the first International, and they're going to use Lost Vikings to do it.
Wow.
Calling it.
I know, we have laughs and stuff, but when did this turn into a comedy?
Jason.
That's the funniest damn thing I've ever heard.
When it became Weekend at Bernie's, that's when.
The floor is yours.
Thank you guys. First of all, shout out to you guys for having me. Thank you very much. And you guys can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all Gillyweed SC2, like StarCraft 2.
Dead game.
Yeah, dead game.
What?
What do you become Gilly?
Not really. Well, oh god, I get those on a daily basis. That's really fun. Tomorrow is Eye on the Storm, and I also cast the Heroes Challenger series usually every week. So to find those things, just follow me on Twitter. I always announce them. That's definitely the best way to find it. Or Facebook. I do a pretty good job of announcing those things on that too. And that's it.
What's going in the dumpster?
Can we put Theodore in the dumpster for making
What?
Damn.
Because he made me ride on the Wonder Billy mount today, and I think that's what caused me to lose some games. So we can put Indeed in the dumpster too. Actually, speaking of Indeed, apparently there's going to be, I think, a limited edition Squadron shirt coming out that has Indeed on it. And definitely as well.
Wow.
Okay, I still have. I mean, I love all those little things you start to catch as a caster. When I was doing Titan Arena, I was just so jumbled up. I kept saying lagged out, and then now my new one is easily. Easily, I always say it's.
I agree 100%, Kev. All right, guys. Kubi mentioned Town Hall Invitational. That is obviously an invite, so there'll be 8 teams. Again, threads on Team Liquid. There'll be a Reddit post, but we're gonna have signups starting possibly tonight for Kings of the Storm. Now, this is the final Kings of the Storm. It's happening August 1st and 2nd. There's $2,250 in prizing, all from Twitch, and the exact amount of seeding that was for the Team Liquid event. So it's going to have a ton of seeding points, all for the August NA Open. If you want a good seed in August, you pretty much have to play in Kings. This is Matt's final event as a non-Blizzard employee. This is kind of his final hurrah. If he hasn't moved to Cali, he'll actually be here in the studio with us. and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I will be sure to tweet that out, so you can follow me Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, SolidJakeGG for the post when it goes live. And I'm gonna try to sort that out right after the show. That'll do it for Town Hall Heroes episode number 73. Gilly, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an indeed delicious event. That word didn't work at all.
Ooh, can I tell you really fast my favorite comment that I saw about Indeed?
Yeah.
It was our first Battlefield of Eternity time we were casting on it, and somebody put Battlefield of Indeedity.
Oh no.
That was my favorite.
Kubi,
Hi.
it's your final chance to put something in the dumpster.
Leoric goes in the dumpster because he's trash.
Oh no, I don't have this production ready. How?
You did last night. How do you lose it? You had the image last. I saw you save it in that folder.
What folder though? That's
you know that folder.
that folder.
Why would Leoric be in there?
I don't ask questions about his personal life. I just kind of, I sit over there just to cast who's out there, and then I leave as fast as possible.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and again, there will be no Town Hall next week, as the Town Hall Invitational will be in its slot. The finals will be happening on Wednesday. The event starts on Monday, so there will be a bit of a break. So I guess that's mostly MP3 viewers. You don't get to watch us. Sorry about that. Leoric, good enough in the dumpster. See you next time.